You are listening to the Savage FINcast, episode 98, Strong to the Finish.
Chicago. A criminal mastermind called Overlord held our city in his terrifying grip. Ordinary cops were losing the battle against Overlord's super freaks and mutants. Then, a miracle happened. When I found him, he had no memory of his past. I helped him find an identity and a life. Now we have a fighting chance. Now we have the dragon.
This is the Savage FINcast, the audio show coming to you in crisp 4K HDR. My name is Jim Purcell.
I'm Craig Olson.
I'm Raven Perez.
And we are here for another episode of the Savage FINcast, where we, of course, will be looking at the latest issue of the greatest comic book on Earth, Savage Dragon.
Nice.
Latest issues.
Yes,
yeah, we got a sort of double header thing going on, right?
Double page, if you may.
We did talk to Eric about 251, but we didn't go in as much detail as we typically do, so we'd like to touch base a little bit on that and then get into the amazing 252.
It's going to be a beautiful, good time. Guys, it's going to be a fantastic time. There's no news to speak of, but I think we have something even cooler. I think we have letters from Finheads.
Or as we like to call them, F-mails.
F-bombs.
Nobody calls them F-mails.
So, thank you so much, listeners, for sending us a bounty. And I think our main man, Jim's going to take it away.
All right, we got one coming in here. Says, "Hey guys, I'm a huge Savage Dragon." I assume he meant Savage Dragon fan. Have been collecting issues for years, but I'm at a point where the physical comics are just starting to take up too much space. For years, I've never been interested in anything but the physical comics, but now I've decided I want to digital. I want to go digital. I know Jim has said he only reads comics digitally. Not entirely true. So I was wondering if you guys could maybe give me some info on where to go from here. What is the best way to get the current issues of Savage Dragon digitally? I have both an iPad and an Android-based tablet. In your opinion, is there one that is better than the other for digital comics? Any info you can give me would be great. Love the podcast. Please keep up the good work. John T. So, John...
Jim, this is all you, baby.
Well, John, you've already won half the battle because you got an iPad. I don't know anything about Android devices. I've never used them, and the ones I have touched I hate. But I use my iPad for pretty much everything, and reading comics especially. Savage Dragon specifically is really easy. You just go to Comixology, and you buy them. Comixology, of course, is the Amazon-owned digital comic platform. There's two ways you can read Savage Dragon digitally on Comixology. When you buy the comic, you, of course, can use Comixology's reader app and just read the comic through that. And it's perfectly fine. Looks great. No issues. You can also, because Savage Dragon is an image comic, you are also allowed to download a standalone backup copy in choice of PDF or what is known as a CBZ, which is just a fancy name for a zip file with a bunch of JPEGs in it. I personally do that, and then I use a third-party program called Chunky. It's a digital comic reader for iPad, and it is my preferred way to read comics when I have the choice. But yeah, I've been reading digitally since 2012 at this point, and the convenience factor outweighs pretty much every negative people come at me with. Good luck switching over.
The only thing I would add to that, because again, I don't do it, but just to throw in some things, I was listening to see if you'd mention them, and you didn't, so just throwing this in. If you go to image.com or imagecomics.com and you go to the Savage Dragon section or whatever, they actually, for each issue, have like a little drop-down menu where you can see all the places where they sell it. So they got Comixology, Kindle, Google Play, Apple iBooks, whatever. So you got options there. And then the last thing I'll throw at you is the few digital comics I do read. I don't even have a really killer setup or anything like that. I've just got a desktop plugged into a 1080p TV with an HDMI cable. And they look good to me. Like, I don't know any better. So, any digital comics...
If your TV is big enough. Like, okay, so I have a 23 or 24-inch 1080p computer monitor that I would never read comics on because it looks so bad. Because it's basically the screen is smaller than a comic book. And so it just doesn't look great. But I also just recently bought a 43-inch 4K television that I use for a computer monitor. And putting comics up on that looks great. Because it's massive.
I mean, mine's low quality, like 1080p.
Yeah.
But I do have a 50-incher.
But
so.
I think the case here, the actual physical size of the TV is what really matters. Because you gotta get those
sharpness, not important.
You gotta get those words big enough to read at a comfortable distance.
Yep. I can read my shit from the couch, so it's fine.
Because on smaller screens, the words just get too small. And with comic books, at least in my opinion, the worst thing you can do is read them panel by panel. Or need to zoom in on word balloons just to read them. As I feel
hate that guided view shit.
It destroys the entire purpose of comics, where you see the whole page, but then let your eyes move through it.
Yeah, it's the layout. And that's the thing is, Dragon is a book made for print, so Eric is thinking of things in terms of double page spreads and shit like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll agree with that. You really don't want any kind of guided view thing. You really want to just see the page all at once, like you would if it was in print.
I will say, reading things one page at a time without seeing the buttered up pages, so every page is the left page, is a pretty good experience, though. I mean, it's not.
Yeah, you get surprised.
It's not intended, but because of course Eric is planning for double pages or two pages butting up against each other, rather. But I think that it's okay to read it one page at a time. You don't have to read two pages next to each other. Usually, the double page spreads will just be their own page, so you'll see those when they come up. So it's not like you have to worry about that. Although on an iPad, you will need to turn your iPad to landscape mode to bathe in its double-page glory. Which some people find irritating, but I've never found a problem with. I flipping from portrait to landscape, just page after page, is just second nature to me now.
Yeah, I'm sure once you get used to it, it ain't a big deal at all.
Yeah. Like all the things complain about, like, oh, it doesn't smell like mildew and toner. I like my comics to have heft. Fucker, my iPad weighs like 5 ounces.
Whatever, Johnny Mnemonic. Don't shit on print. You don't have to because you like your thing. All right. Moving
Sweet
right
smell of mildew.
Yeah. Thank you, John.
That's all the smell. That's all what book smell is. It's just mildew.
It's paper,
But it
dog.
brings back all my childhood memories.
It's not mildew, it's paper. No one likes the smell of mildew.
It's mildew.
They like the smell of paper.
The smell, the quote-unquote library smell is mildew.
That's
what it is.
No wonder you don't like it, because you don't know the difference between paper smell and mildew.
Okay, like I said, it's either mildew, which is old paper, or it's fucking bleach, because they bleach all the paper.
Oh my god.
I've never smelled bleach on paper.
Me either, dude. You don't know what paper smells like.
It smells like mildew and toner.
So the smell of old paper is always mildew? Is that what you're saying?
That's my understanding, yes, is that when you smell the book smell, when you're in in like an old bookstore or a library, and that you smell that book smell, it's mildew.
Do you think
I love that
librarians
smell.
could stand to be around mildew all the time? It's a
Well,
different smell.
It's not dangerous mildew. It's the
I'm
chemical.
saying it wouldn't. I've never heard anyone say, I love mildew. Everyone loves books. No one loves mildew.
Well, that's because you said it wrong. That's why they say I love the smell of books, because they don't
All
want
right.
to say I love the smell.
A common smell of old books, says the International League of Antiquarian Booksellers, is a hint of vanilla, lignin, lignin, which is present in all wood-based paper, is closely related to vanillin. As it breaks down, the lignin grants old books that faint vanilla scent.
And it's not
It's
mildew.
it's never smelled like vanilla to me, and I love vanilla.
Oh, my goodness.
The Smithsonian says it's a mix of old grass and vanilla.
There you go. It's not mildew. No one likes mildew, dude. Mildew, people have allergies to mildew. If it was mildew, certain people could never go to a library.
It sounds like it's because it's the breakdown of that lignin that gives it the smell more than mildew. I'm sure there are libraries that have mildew, and old books do get mildew, but...
Yeah, I was going to say, I've been in some fucking rancid bookstores, that's for sure. But old book smell is paper. It's just old paper. It's not
Well, there's
mildew.
mustiness. Actually, the Smithsonian says a combination of grassy notes with a tang of acids and a hint of vanilla over an underlining mustiness.
Musty.
Musty.
We're all right here, huh?
Oh,
Musty
geez.
is equal to mildew.
I wasn't prepared to feel things for this FINcast, but I feel certain ways.
Well, good luck on your digital endeavors, John.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on from this mustiness.
Take
It's
us
getting
outta
musty
here.
in here. Let's get musky. We got another. Our next letter comes. We got a couple of letters. One because Russ sent his first one in a little late and missed our deadline for our last FINcast. But Russ Burlingame, who we know as a friend of the show, he works for comicbook.com. He does those great interviews with Erik Larsen after each new issue is out, which kind of is a nice little cliff notes or kind of a little more insight into each issue, and I enjoy reading those. So thanks, Russ, for that. But he writes in, and this is in response to one of our FINteresting conversations. Hi, guys. Been a while, and I'm sorry for that, but I had to chime in for 250. I want to see more chaos and control. It's a weird but cool visual, and I feel like these guys who have been around for 25 years... Oh, I'm sorry. It says, and I feel like these are guys who have been around for 25 years, and it's been a minute since we spent any amount of time with them. What the hell is driving a 50-something symbiotic creeper villain? I'd also love to see Fountainhead and Ugly Johnny, both whom had memorable fights right around the Dragon in Prison era of the book. Ugly Johnny lost an ear in the prison fight, and now Paul Dragon is back around and looking spry as hell. Lastly, let's see the Bronze Man. You can't bring Paul into the book and not deal with that guy.
Yes.
Let's address this one, and I'll go into Russ's next letter.
Sure.
But you guys remember Ugly Johnny from like the Mako prison fight issues? That guy was kind of cool looking.
What's funny is I don't refresh my memory.
He kind of looks like an Ugly's Unlimited guy, but he kind of had a cool role. It was like those guys are just like messing with Dragon in prison. And then you guys know who Fountainhead is.
Obviously.
Yeah, Laserface.
Yeah, lasers. Infinite lasers right out of that big thing.
And the Bronze Man, he's never been in the new Savage Dragon book. He's a graphic fantasy version of kind of Overlord.
Well, that's the thing, though. I would call him an echo of Overlord, or vice versa.
Yeah.
So in a way,
dude.
we've seen him, but in a way, we haven't.
Right.
He looks totally different. He looks a lot different.
He looks a lot
but,
more like
yeah.
Doctor Doom, right? Or no, does he
Yeah,
look
like an
more
Iron
different
Man
than that?
too.
He's like an Iron Man kind of
Iron
looking
Man,
dude.
yeah. So, we'll see. I think we talked to Eric a little bit about it, and he kind of left it open-ended. Like, we don't know if the Bronze Man was in Dimension X as well.
It's just cool because basically Paul opens up the window for all kinds of shit. And we're going to, you know what, we're not going to go into it too much here because, Lord, we're going to be talking about that a lot. But basically, yeah, Bronze Man, very cool. Paul opens up those possibilities.
And this kind of ties in with it, so maybe we don't have much to say about the second letter from Russ, but he said, his second letter says, "Hey boys, my reaction when I saw Paul pop up in the book. Well, the first thing I thought was literally, so that's why Erik name dropped him in the merging of multiple Earths. Next, I thought, I wonder if this means the Bronze Man is coming. Stay green, y'all. Russ Burlingame."
Love it. Love the enthusiasm. Another Bronze Man enthusiast. I, too, cannot wait to see the Bronze Man. What do you... Real quick. Give me your odds. What do you guys think are the odds we'll see Bronze Man, and what's your time spread? Like a year? 2 years?
0%
0% likelihood.
0% likelihood.
Okay, justify it. Why?
Well, like I said, Bronze Man is basically Overlord, and I think that story is finally done.
Okay.
I honestly don't think he'd bring Overlord back in any form. If you brought him back in the form of the Bronze Man, I feel that would just be one time too many.
Huh.
Kind of like how Dragon's story is done. Huh?
Yeah.
Dragon's different. Paul is a different kettle of fish.
He's an echo, dude. You can't call Bronze Man an echo of Overlord and not say Paul's an echo of Dragon.
That's what I'm saying.
No way.
In my mind, the way I justify this, which isn't probably Erik's way of justifying it, keep in mind, is that the Paul universe is the quote-unquote original universe. The one we've been in for the last 28 years is the Echo universe. Things are similar, but it's mostly different. Bronze Man, Overlord is the Bronze Man role. Overlord's dead. His armor's come back a couple times. I don't think we need the armor back, and I honestly don't think Erik wants to repeat himself in that regard. I don't think we're going to see too much from the Paul Dragon's Earth except for Paul. That's my guess.
Craig, what's your odds and what's your time frame?
50-50 within a year.
Ooh, you stole my odds and my time frame, dude. Dead on.
So this is where I'm going with this.
Okay.
This has been Erik's baby. He's drawn so many of these older guys and issues that were never published for the public in his own stories. I feel like he might have an itch to realize some of these characters in his current comic, in the one that's for the public.
Love the way you're thinking, dude.
I don't think, even though he is kind of, we don't know for sure, to be honest.
It's all guesswork.
How close he is to Overlord. But even if he is, the visual's not anywhere the same. And Erik could change anything he wants at this point because there's only been really an issue or maybe 2 issues of Bronze Man's ever appeared in and really wasn't fleshed out that much. So he can go anywhere with it and make it a different character. But I think Erik likes to see some of his old characters visualized. I mean, if you look at all those characters in graphic fantasy or Megaton, they've all pretty much appeared in one way or another. There's a few that still haven't.
Blackbeak.
And Jim, you are right in a way. Maybe Overlord is his Bronze Man, and that's how he appeared. But I don't know. Like I said, I give it a 50-50. I think Erik still probably would have an itch to play with that character. I think it would give Paul kind of his cast in this comic too.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And it's another kind of mainstream villain that he doesn't have to create from scratch that would kind of please the fan base as well.
I gotta agree with everything you said. I don't really have too much to add other than it would be kind of cool to see just Bronze Man, fucking good Mako. You never know. I'm just saying, you don't know what the fuck could show up. And now that Dimension X has been established that there's the Paul universe out there. Hell yeah, dude. It could even be a Bronze Man from another dimension. You don't fucking know. So, yeah, very much I give it those 50-50 1 year time frame. If he doesn't do it in a year, I doubt he's doing it.
Also, here's my other question. We know that Paul's a different version of this dragon, and Jennifer and Sue are different versions of character. Who is Overlord the different version of Bronze Man for this reality, or is it a different character that's Paul is going to try to track down and find and stop him before he becomes like the Bronze Man or something?
I like
to that
that,
effect.
dude. Yeah, because think, if Antonio Seghetti, you're just assuming that Antonio Seghetti was like our Bronze Man. But what if the Bronze Man's out there and like getting all the memories merged together, like just gave him the idea?
Right.
He's like, shit, dude,
go.
I could fucking be like a boss of this fucking Earth. Oh, dude, that's
there
a
you go.
good one.
Somebody in this universe that really, the version wasn't a bad guy at all, and then merged his ideas. I didn't even think about that. That's on you, Raven. You thought of that.
I thought that was you.
If their ideas merged or their memories merged, and then it activated him.
That's cool. That's cool, man. If that happens,
we'll be millionaires.
No, that's cool. Awesome. Thank you, Russ, for throwing us some juicy nuggets there. We got one. I'll take the next two because they're super quick. Got one writes Dakota. I thought it was a fun way to bring back Savage Dragon without bringing back the one from the ongoing. Hopefully this will help segue into the whole Angel's mom's hand coming out of the grave thing from way back. Dakota Darth Fitzgerald. Yeah, man, it's so funny, like Nostradamus, because we saw the 255 cover enter the grave, and that is definitely Dimension X up in the sky, right?
You would think so. I don't know, though.
I mean,
who knows of the covers?
Yeah, the covers, it could be a lie, but I'm just saying, man, that looks like Dimension X up there to me, dude.
It does. That was the first thing that came to my mind.
So, I gotta say, it would be crazy. And it's funny because it really fits Dragon's character to just be obsessed and hunting for his Jennifer equivalent. Like, my God, dude, Old Man Dragon, that was like a big part of his life, was just trying to hunt down Jennifer. Like, so it totally makes sense that Paul would be like, what's his, is it Sue?
Yep. Sue Wilson.
Sue. Oh, we're going to find Sue. Oh, so, but here's the thing though. Think about the crazy implication of him escaping Dimension X just by a fluke. And then, like, going back in there just seems like, holy shit, dude. Wouldn't you be scared to go back in there, I don't know.
Dragon's not scared of nothing.
I like it. Thank you for writing in, Dakota. Appreciate it. I think we got a lovely, sort of a rare treat. A rare treat for this next letter. We got a tight and concise Sotiris Gravis
yes.
comment. Yeah,
My
really.
boy.
Slim and trim, dude. All killer, no filler. Usually verbose and vexing. Now, tight and concise. Sotiris says, "Hey guys, another winner. Glad you like my brief letter, by the way. In honor of episode 95, I decided to listen to this podcast in its entirety while wearing a very snug N95 COVID mask. Natalie Portman was great in V for Vendetta. But if you want to really see some crazy duplicate action, be sure to check her out in the ending of Annihilation. Spoilers. If you like naked aliens, like Dragon in a Burning Field, you'll love this movie's crazy ending. Crazy as fuck." Sotiris Gravis.
I don't even know how to react to that.
I just want to see that movie now, don't you?
I saw it. I can't remember the ending that much. It was really weird.
What movie?
I got it. It's suggested.
Annihilation.
Oh, it's a great movie.
Well,
I don't remember the ending as much. I just remember kind of like that weird little
Want me to blast
cave thing she
spoilers?
goes into.
Yeah, here's the thing. Well, the question is that he's saying sort of there's going to be like some naked Natalie Portman. All you got to do is say yes or no.
No, she's not naked in that. Is she, Jim? I don't think
No,
so.
not really.
No.
Well, then I'm disappointed, Sotiris.
I think the alien figure that's in
Yeah,
that,
the alien figure is kind of a, but it's like a suggestion of a person. It's not really a naked figure.
Oh, in a burning field.
Hold on, let me reread this. It was great in V for Dead. But if you want to see some really crazy duplicate action,
He wasn't even paying
be
attention.
sure to check her out in the yeah. Okay. So what he's saying is the duplicate action is that there's this whole scene where Natalie Portman and like a doppelganger are like having this weird. She makes a movement. The thing makes a movement.
Yes, I remember.
And then the thing
now.
makes a movement, and like she'll make a movement, and it's like a really weird like dance between these two. Similar like duplicates.
I remember
Okay.
that now. Yep.
I think I saw that scene even though I didn't see this movie. Is she like naked pretty much in that scene sequence?
Maybe the
The
duplicate.
duplicate is, but there's no like. I saw it like a year ago, but I don't remember like nudity.
There's no like Janie.
Must not have been
Hot
good.
action.
Must not have been good. I'm without even just going off what you guys said, not crazy AF. Not crazy. Not crazy as fuck. Not. So, well, thank you, Sotiris. Like I said, do love to hear from you always. Regular contributor to the FINcast. We appreciate you listening to the entirety of the podcast. Good Lord, man. That's almost 100 episodes at like what? Several hours apiece? I guess they're taking that quarantine pretty serious over there.
I think he meant entirety of the episode.
No
Buddy.
way, dude. I thought he meant all of like Savage
No,
FINcast.
the episode.
Okay. Wow. Edit that out, Jim. Next.
Next we got an email for coming in saying, "Hey guys, you should throw a listener FINteresting convo for the variant cover ranking comments. The Liefeld you should throw listener. Sorry,
He's saying have the listeners get in on the
the
variant ranking.
Yeah. Okay. And then he goes on with his rankings, or at least his opinions. The Liefeld cover looks like Youngblood Shaft in Greenface. Lol. Terrible. Raven.
There you go.
Why the hate for the Young cover? I'm not a Scott Young fan, but I like it. It's a parody cover with Dragon as Homer Simpson. Lol.
Lol.
Lol. The Otley cover is uninteresting. Big hand. And I agree with Jim that the Simonson cover is fantastic.
We all said that.
Like Jim.
Yes,
Yeah,
it was
exactly. Why do you
only
get
my
all the credit?
opinion.
Tony.
They all said
I'm feeling
Simonson
microaggressed.
sucks. Go
I'm
suck a
feeling
dick.
microaggressed, dude.
What? I wasn't even mentioned this whole time. Chopped liver over here.
Cho one is great, but I can't tell if it's original Dragon or Malcolm. Good point. That one is unclear. Raven, no backup? What the fuck? I wanted more angel titties. Lol.
Gotta talk to the man in charge.
Oh, snap. I just saw the Adam Warren, Savage Dragon, and Alex pinup in SD250. Man, how sick would an Adam Warren variant cover have been? Big fan
Very.
very. Big fan of Empowered, and out of curiosity, do any of the FINcast crew read it? Yes. Yes, I do.
I do. Yeah.
Man, I'm thinking issue 300 should have at least 10 variants. Adam Warren, Art Adams, Howard Porter, Mark Bagley, Brian Hitch would be my top choices. Heck, even John McCrae. Who's John McCrae?
You know him from Hitman.
Oh, Hitman.
Okay.
The
Or
DC
you don't?
Hitman. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never read it, but yes, now I know what you're talking about.
I like Adam Warren.
And this
Art
is
Adams.
this is letters by Tony M.
Thank you, Tony, for writing in. Fellas, do you have ideas on those variants? You don't have to do 10, obviously, but...
I don't know.
We gotta get Dave Johnson back.
Oh, yeah, second that, dude.
Dave Johnson does good covers. He'd do a very good Savage Dragon cover, I think.
I would love if he'd do an angel with those really thick cankles like he does. Just like... And I'm not joking, dude. Like, I mean it.
That's why I'm laughing.
It would look cool. All right, keep going.
Mike Allred cover for me.
That would be
yeah,
good,
dude.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I would like a cover by Daniel Warren Johnson.
Nice. Okay. Yes. Fuck yeah, dude. That's Murder Falcon.
Yes,
For
Murder
those who
Falcon
may
guy,
not be
yes.
initiated.
He does great stuff.
Fuck yeah, dude. His shit's incredible. I'm gonna say, give me a Corey Walker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with the Art Adams. I'd like to see a front cover with like some cool scene, not just pinup.
Totally
Art
agree.
never does pinups. Art always does cool scenes to me, or just crazy like
Art
million
does
guys.
Art does weird like out of continuity scenes.
But they're good. Like, remember the Invincible one with the Grim Reaper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good, dude.
I'm not.
I also like his covers where it's like a million Avengers.
Yes.
Like, all the guys are just on the cover. And he kind of did that with the back cover of Savage Dragon, where it was both out of continuity with different versions of Dragon, but then also like a million different Dragon guys,
Yeah.
which was kind of neat. I don't know.
No, I totally agree, dude. What do you guys
There's a
think
bunch
about
of guys.
Brian Hitch?
Brian Hitch is fine.
okay.
I mean, I'm not a big Brian Hitch fan, or at least I wasn't until like 2 years ago when I read his Hawkman run, and it was very good.
Mm-hmm.
I think his art's improved a lot lately, or
Yeah.
more to the point, it's become, I don't know, more efficient. He's not as like detail obsessed like he used to be. It just looks better as a comic. I hated how the Ultimates looked. It looks so static, dead.
It was very referenced.
But he's a lot more. His cartooning's a lot better now.
he probably
I think
is just less referenced, to be honest.
a fan favorite, or just in general a favorite. He's not my personal favorite, but a lot of people love him. Is Frank Quietly.
Oh, goddamn, yes, dude.
Would be interesting to see his take.
And I know
'cause he's
Eric likes
very
his shit, too.
Unique. Yeah.
Absolutely. What about your boy David Cho?
Nah, I'm not. He doesn't do enough comics, really.
Hmm?
He did a few in the beginning, and that was it.
Wait, who's David Cho?
He's more famous for his like pop art and shit. He
Graffiti.
was like the guy that made millions on painting Facebook's headquarters in exchange for whatchamacallit,
Stock.
stock. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good enough because we got kind of a sort of similar line of conversation coming up. In fact, so that is actually a really cool segue. Before we do that, Jim, you want to tell them that they can write us letters?
You can always send us emails to savagefincast@gmail.com or leave us comments on our website at savagefincast.com. You can find us on Facebook at the Erik Larsen Savage Dragon fan group. We usually post the new FINcast there where you can leave a comment.
Basically, you have no excuse. You can get us comments anyway. We'd love to hear from you, and as you heard, we'll read your letter on the FINcast, give you funny voices, reply with feigned outrage and indignance. It's a pretty good experience, I'd say. But, you know, we got another thing for you to interact with us, too. We got a little segment that we like to call the FINteresting Conversations. And I think we got a doozy for you this time, dear listeners. I think we got something really interesting for you. What we do is we're going to talk about this FINteresting conversation first, and then we're going to throw it back to you. And we would love to hear from you. And this can be your letter as well. If you're writing in, you know, feel free to use this as your letter. Tell us your thoughts and choices on this FINteresting conversation subject that we're about to discuss. But for now, it's going to be me, Jim, and Craig doing our thing on this FINteresting conversation topic. Savage Dragon 252, which we will be discussing shortly, features one of Erik's many famous Savage Dragon experiments. He loves to throw himself challenges, curveballs. It's a delight for us, the readers. We never know what the fuck we're going to get. And it's got to be something that keeps the book fresh for him after 28 years. In 252, it's an homage, a tribute to the Sunday Funnies. Of course, you know, by the time you listen to this, you're going to have it in your hot little hands, and you'll see it was cool. He emulates a lot of different, you know, very famous Sunday Funny strip artists. So, we actually asked him in our interview what the next challenge was, or if he'd even started thinking of one, or, you know, maybe he was just too tired and wanted to just chill out for a while. Actually went ahead and beat us to the punch and put this out on Twitter. And so You guys got the spoiler from Erik himself on his next big experiment, and that's what we're going to be talking about. He said the next logical conclusion would be to tackle the styles of various comic book artists, because he had to tackle styles of all these strip artists, and I think he knocked it out of the fucking park. So it's really exciting to hear him say that that's the next experiment in his head. And so I've talked way too much. I'm going to throw it to Jim or Craig, whoever wants to jump up and grab this ball. Give me just a couple, whatever you're feeling, artists that you would love to see Erik integrate into that next challenge.
You go, Jim.
All right. Well, I have two right off the top of my head. One I think is possible. The other is a huge outlier.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the first one, the one I really want, is I really want Osamu Tezuka,
Nice.
creator of Astro Boy.
That is a good pick. Japanese Jack Kirby.
Pretty much, yes. He's like
The god
he's like
of comics.
If Jack Kirby, Stan Lee, and Will Eisner were one person, that is Tezuka.
It is truly
And
important.
Walt Disney, he's in there too.
Yeah, you literally cannot understate. That is, honest to God, sounds like an exaggeration. You cannot overstate this man's impact on comics, because, I mean, just comics in general, because, like, yeah, manga industry, whatever, but, I mean, hey, manga influenced America, too. This is a man that did it all. Like, it's insane. Basically, there was nothing he didn't do. They've got statues of him. He's a national treasure. He was recognized in his lifetime as a national treasure. It's fucking insane.
Yeah, so that's my dream one. We'll see if that pans out. My other one, my more outlier one, is more of a personal preference thing, but he's a bit more obscure, so I doubt Erik has a strong opinion about them as an artist one way or another. And that is Carlos Esquerra, who is...
I'm not familiar.
Yeah, here's the thing: is he's a long-time 2000 AD British European artist.
I was going to say Dredd, right?
Best known for Judge Dredd. North Americans would know his work through primarily the book Just a Pilgrim by Garth Ennis from the early 2000s.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He did a number of other war comics with Ennis as well, but he's not a huge name in North America. But his style, in my opinion, is one of the best ever. He comes from like a war comic background, so all of his art is like super like dirty and gritty, and he does like all these really cool like science fiction sort of things. He's done Western. Well, unfortunately, he passed 2 years ago. But he's a legendary artist. I would put him in the same category, maybe not as Kirby, but at least as the same category as Larsen. In terms of like influence and importance, in terms of connections to like important characters in comics.
Yeah, he's synonymous with Dredd, right? Like, he's one of the definitive Dredd guys.
Well, he's a co-creator.
Oh, there you go.
He's co-creator, although he didn't draw his first appearances. He wouldn't do that until later. But he primarily did a lot of Western sort of comics, war comics. He has a lot of range as a sci-fi war Western artist. And I just think Larsen trying to do this sort of style, and there are certain like signifiers of what a Square look is. It's hard to replicate, but if you do, it's easy to tell who you're replicating, which I think is important when you're trying to homage another artist.
Sure, yeah.
Like Esquerra has this thing where your foreground character generally has these. You know how what Kirby dots are?
Kirby Crackle, yeah.
Well, he doesn't do Kirby Crackle. What he does is on all of like his foreground characters, or at least the focus character, there are like these black dots on the outline of the characters that makes like they almost kind of look like half a zipper.
Okay, I've got it in my head.
You might have to Google up some of his art just to look at it, but it is it's very iconic to the artist.
Okay.
And I think if you did that, it would be really obvious who you're homaging. So I think it would be really cool.
Cool.
But I don't think Eric's going to do him.
But listen.
That's my pie-in-the-sky dream.
Listen, these are your pie-in-your-sky dream picks. Like, whether or not Erik is going to do it or not, that is not the FINteresting conversation. The FINteresting conversation is what would you like to see. So don't worry about the reality. Just throw it out there, dude. Give us the third quick one, off the top of your head.
Oh, geez, that's really tough because... Ooh, got one. I want him to try to do an Alex Ross page.
Whoa!
Paint that page.
Goddamn.
Do
That's
it up
cool.
Alex Ross style.
That's mean. That is mean, because that's not just drawing, that's gouache. That's a hard art medium to be masterful with. Wow. You're cruel, but okay, it's your dream. I'm not going to shit on your dream. I would... Listen, if we get that issue and we flip a page and Erik has painted what can be a convincing Alex Ross-esque page, I'm telling you right now, Jim, I'll get a fucking tattoo of whatever you want. It's crazy, dude, because that's a lot of work. That's so fucking... You're talking about mastering a medium. That's hard, dude. Wow. No, that's good. Right on. Craig, you got yours?
How many are we doing?
You do
Two
however
or
many
three.
you want. 2 or
12.
3, yeah.
Who puts a number?
I'm gonna do 6.
Who wants to put a number on something so cool?
I'm going to go quick.
Sure.
All right, so thinking through this, I figure if Eric's going to do this, I thought more of, instead of what I want, which is a combination of what I want plus what would be able for Erik to do that people would get right away.
Okay.
There are
Right.
certain artists that you see and you're
If
like,
I want to go the easy
"All right,
route,
know
I
who
could
that
rattle
is."
off some names, but let's see you do it.
Well, I mean, these are also ones I want to see. And so
Yeah.
I took off ones that he's done already.
Right.
Okay.
So no Kirby.
He did no Kirby.
No Sam Keith.
He did Hellboy kind of in
right.
Mignola's
Yeah.
kind of style. So I'm going to go with first Harvey Kurtzman,
Oh.
who I love his style and his old war comics and the thick ink lines and all that. And I think when you see his stuff, you know it's him.
Yeah, dude. Nice.
I really enjoy his old stuff. Like his frontline combat books are just mind blowing. I just love it. So I would love to see that.
Very nice.
I would love to see him take on Jamie Hernandez, like Love and Rockets type
That
style
would be a
thing,
choice,
which
yeah.
It's another
you
good
see-
one.
you see that and you know automatically what he's going for.
Huge
Like,
boobs,
there's
dude.
nobody else. Yeah, I mean, you could make a great like story with like the family. You know what I mean? In that style, not even like a fighting. You know,
It really-
obviously he's known for romance. So
It really would fit very well with the kind of like slice of life stuff Erik's been doing.
yeah, I would love to see a Bruce Timm style, just so we could see
Nice.
what a Bruce Timm animated Savage Dragon would look like. Even though we've seen a pinup by Bruce Timm, but it would be cool to see some action.
Yeah.
And that would kind of scratch the Kirby itch in a way.
Yeah.
I know he's kind of played around with Frank Miller stuff, but I think it would be kind of killer to see like a 5-page Frank Miller-esque kind of style.
Now there's 2 Millers now. Are you talking about modern Miller, who's just fucking wacky, or are you talking about classic Miller?
I would be fine with either.
Okay.
I mean, maybe like Dark Knight Returns style,
Okay.
I'm not talking about like Sin City, black and white. I'm talking about Frank Miller, like straight superhero comics.
Okay.
And then the last 2, I would be happy with either like Steve Ditko, or what would be really silly is if he tried to do John Byrne, seeing the history between the 2 guys.
That'd be awesome, actually. That would actually be awesome. Very
That's it.
cool.
What about you,
Very
Raven?
good. I'll keep mine super short because they're also both incredibly unlikely. So, whatever. But, fuck it. I would love to see him. I'm going to be broad because, I don't know, just whatever. I don't give a fuck. No, I'm not going to be broad. You know what? I'm going to be specific. It just popped into my head. All right, dogs. You want to talk about iconic artist visuals? You say manga Savage Dragon, everybody goes big eyes and little noses. Nah, dude. That's not what I want to see. What I want to see is...
Fist of the North Star.
Yes, dude! Yes, Craig! Yes, I want to see that goddamn. I think it's Tetsuo Ohara, but let me get it here real quick. Fist of the North, dude. The artist of Fist of the North Star is legendary. Tetsuo Ohara, yeah, dude. The brain came through. Okay, so Tetsuo Ohara's art style. If you want to Google it, it's just Fist of the North Star. If you Google it, you'll see. But like, dude, it's an iconic visual that Erik could do. Because it's big, muscly, like fucking bodies. It's actually American style influenced. There's like lots of black.
It's very Road Warrior inspired.
Yes, dude. It's Bruce Lee as Road Warrior,
right?
Basically, and with hyperviolence. It's perfect. So it'd be a great fit for Savage Dragon. But also too, like the way he proportions bodies, like just it's a thing. So it's a look that Erik. If he did it, like people that saw it would be like, yes. All right, so that's number one, Tetsuo Ohara, and then number two. Gosh, you guys stole a lot of the really good ones. See, I was gonna say Frank Quietly, but since you took Frank Quietly, who is left with so much style? I know he's a Scott Pilgrim fan. It's not a big thing for me, but I'd like to see him try. I'd like to see him do a Brian Lee O'Malley, Scott Pilgrim stuff. Not the early sloppy shit, but the late shit like Book 6, where it was a lot tighter. I would love to see him just do his take, because I think he'd have a lot of fun with it. And I think that their book is taking place in Canada, so it's kind of a logical thing, you know? And so I think he'd have fun. I think a lot of readers would react really positive to it. So I think that would be a home run. So those are my two picks. Tetsuo Ohara or Brian Lee O'Malley. Yep. Fuck yeah.
I'm surprised you guys didn't go with like some more like classical names, because Craig, you said Steve Ditko, of course, and that's a good choice. Yeah. That would be cool. But I was thinking more along the lines of like Herb Trimpe, of course, and John Romita.
I was going to say Romita.
I thought John Romita, but I always feel like either John Romita or John Buscema, kind of middle of the road Kirby influence.
John Buscema was my other one because Erik's a big fan of the original Nova series.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I think those would probably be Erik's picks, but for me, I just feel like they're a little derivative. They're great artists, but I feel like they're very heavily influenced by Kirby too.
And like maybe like a Gil Kane.
Yeah, he was on my list.
Neil Adams.
I'm not the biggest Neil Adams fan.
I'm not a Neil Adams guy.
Yeah, I'm not either. Fascinating.
Maybe Joe Kubert.
I mean, if I'm pulling out like two names.
Joe Kubert, that would be cool.
Yeah, because it's so distinct.
I'm going to say, I had him like here for like just a second. It like immediately left my mind as soon as he said Joe Kubert, dude. My mind wiped.
Context? Anything like?
It was going to be an art style, like one of those guys with just a distinct art style, to where like you would know instantly who he was doing. An older artist. Well, who was I thinking? It's gone now, dude. Don't worry about it. I'll remember. But basically, yeah. Anybody who has like that iconic visual hook, it would be cool to see him like spoof all the image of all the other guys.
Yeah. Do a Silvestri, a Lee.
I think he said he was all set with that.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah, it'd still be cool though. It's just my list.
Yeah,
but
I feel like those guys have been spoofed too, like so much that it wouldn't be as fun as seeing some others.
You're right; those are lame picks, honestly. I don't know. Yeah, classic artists that have unique styles that aren't too Kirby. I don't know. It's hard, dude.
We'll let our audience
leave some for the listeners.
Yeah, listeners. Do our homework for us.
So where can they write in with their excellent choices?
Well, the same place I said earlier, savagefincast@gmail.com, or actually, for the FINteresting conversations, you should use savagefincast@gmail.com. Yeah, don't put it in the comments. Send us an email. Yeah. Do the work.
Make our life easy. Just send an email. That way it's all... And make the subject FINteresting conversation. That helps. So, yeah. But, man, I can't wait to hear what the readers come up with. I think there's artists that we didn't list that as soon as we hear from the readers, we're going to be like, oh, shit, dude, of course. You know, Jim Balent. We all want to see that Jim Balent, Erik Larsen page, you know?
There's so many artists out there,
Yeah.
honestly. There's so many we're not thinking of right now.
And it could be Alive or Dead. It could be Euro. It could be, like, Japanese. Like, it could be, because it's your pick. So, hell yeah, dude. Like, the sky's the limit. Like, go crazy. Thank you, Jim and
All right.
Craig, man. That was a good one.
So we
I think
got
it's time.
Yeah, say it, Raven. Say the words.
I think it's time for some meat and potatoes, right? I'm hungry.
Potatoes.
I think we got a double scoop sample, a double serving of meat and
Well,
potatoes.
we previously talked a bit about Savage Dragon 251, but we thought maybe we go just a tiny bit more in depth on it, and of course talk about the backup, which of course we never talked about last time.
Right.
So we should do that. Whoops, wrong.
Madly disrespectful, considering this was a good backup.
Yeah.
Well, we're in an Erik interview. Now we're in an issue review.
Right.
So, just talk about something that we didn't really talk about last time.
Sure.
How cool is Brainwave, and how much does it suck that he's dead now?
I know, dude. My heart is broken. It was a very cool sequence, but I would have loved for him to stay around a little longer.
Fuck it, Malcolm. Your fucking track record continues.
Malcolm the murderer.
Oh, not. I'm
dude.
sorry.
You mean Mind Warp,
Mind
not
Warp.
Brainwave.
I always mix them up. There's like too many brain guys.
No, dude.
but this
you can never have that.
Well, this is one of those guys who's kind of always been in the background, who you always see, but he never does much. So he shows up here, and of course, he's like Dragon, but also apparently Paul is immune to mind control, which is one of his powers. But if you're not controlling your mind, if he's actually like telekinetically controlling your body, you're fucked, man.
Yeah.
So we finally get a mind control guy who's effective. And then he gets squished because apparently he can only target one person at a time.
Help me out, my dudes. Mind Warp. Was he like, I'm just like, as soon as I saw him, I was like, well, they clearly got history. Was he a Paul Dragon guy? Was he a classic Dragon villain?
He's a classic Vicious Circle member.
This feels like when Paul says, you can come out, Mind Warp, I know it's you. That feels like he's drawn from Dragon's memories.
Sure.
Although there could have been a Mind Warp in the other universe that we never met.
Sure, yeah.
So it just got to reinforced his memory because there was two of them.
Yeah, cool. So, I mean, because it's funny because this guy is just not... his visual kind of seems familiar. Like, I remember the way the skull is just like two little lobes poking out of a skull.
Am I crazy, though? Did we not do a retro review where Mind Warp controlled Barbaric?
Yeah, we did.
Probably. He was in issue 5, issue 6.
Yeah, remember
He's
we
been
talked about it in the retro how I think it was Barbaric started punching himself, but it was kind of awkward.
Right.
Or was it Dragon? Someone was punching themselves.
I think it was Dragon. But
Was that Mind Warp? I can't remember now.
it was either Mind Warp or Braino or...
Oh, it might have
one
been
of those
Braino.
guys. But Mind Warp, like I said, he's been in like a ton of issues. He was in 5 and 6. He was in like the whole gang war thing. He's, just a list. I'm looking at the wiki right now. 5, 6, 24, 25, 26, 39, 40, 50, 64, 66, 67,
Shit.
95, 100, 135, and now 251. He's also been in the Deadly Duo.
So he's a heavy hitter.
He's been around, but he just doesn't do much. He's always like one of the background guys.
What a bummer, dude. He certainly showed he was ready to rise to the big time here.
Yeah, he was part of the Annihilators, so we saw him there
I see.
when they split off from the Vicious Circle.
Yeah, I'm very sad he died. It was a cool visual, but also very sad he died.
There's not many Brain guys left. Braino's dead. He's dead. Brainiac's
Wait,
dead, right?
what killed Braino?
Dragon threw the fucking rod through the brain
Oh,
Yeah, smashed right through.
in the big newspaper.
That was... Yeah.
the Wegmans, right?
You used to call it Wegmans?
Was that
like
was
the
that,
like the supermarket?
Yeah, but
Was it Wegmans?
He means that. He means the big.
McSweeney's.
McSweeney's.
That's quite a different name. I knew exactly what you were talking about, and you weren't far off.
When he was shopping at the Wegmans.
Why did Wegmans come in there? I don't know.
I guess I didn't remember that Brano died in that.
Yeah, it was his tragic moment. He was kind of having a moment with his lady friend and got the old rod to the head.
Damn.
Yeah, he got greased. So in that way, Malcolm and Paul, not that different. I mean, Malcolm and Dragon, not that different.
Also, Dragon and Paul, not that different. Immediately going for a role with Alex. What the... Aren't you here looking for your wife, douchebag?
I mean, she'll take what she can get. He'll take what he can get. I mean, I do think it's...
I just like after they're in bed, he's like, full disclosure, we've never met before.
Yeah, dude, was it kind of shitty to like clearly they've already boned, and he's just like, oh, P.S. we're strangers.
She says, you're still here. That's a good sign.
Yeah, it's funny. Paul is kind of a jerk, and Dragon was kind of a jerk too.
Dragon's an asshole. He's always
person.
been an asshole.
Yeah,
it's like his most defining feature.
Is this not an asshole way to be? Like, he didn't have to say that.
And I mean, he has all of Dragon's memory, so he knows who she is. He just doesn't have the emotional connection that Dragon would have had.
Yeah, still though, dude.
That's sort of how I see this, is that he has the memories, but he doesn't have the emotional connection that Dragon would have because he didn't live the memories.
He's got the body hair.
Erik kind of gets into that with the dialogue. He's like, most of the memories just become background noise.
Right.
So it sticks with you, but it's not like the stuff you actually live through.
I'd imagine that it's a lot like when you watch a movie, like you experience the things in that movie, but like they're not like as vivid as your actual memories. You know what I mean?
Right. I think it's funny throughout this issue. It's very reminiscent of how he drew Paul Dragon in Graphic Fantasy and Megaton, where I feel like he still doesn't have a handle on how the Finn's supposed to be, even though you think after all these years.
Yeah, if you look at the post-coital page with Alex, you see the front in the first panel. You see the front-on Finn. It looks fine. It looks like the turd, the ridge.
The ridge, yeah.
But then if you look in panel 3, now it looks like it's a tiny flip.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like that through the whole comic, and I'm like,
why does it keep doing that? You're exactly right. I mean, is he doing it on purpose because it was always inconsistent? But surely it's not that hard to draw a tube from the side on.
I don't know. No. And it's funny because, like, it's kind of weird because it looks like, in some things, it looks like a little fin, and then other things, it looks like it comes down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Specifically, check out the way it looks in the Can I Come In? Like, it's the second page. Like, second page, third panel, where Paul's saying, can I come in?
Yeah.
It just doesn't look like it comes down to a little point, when clearly the panel above, the big up-close shot,
just looks like a mini fin.
Yeah, okay, you're right. So, the second panel on the same page is a really big close-up of his face. And yes, you see it as, like, a tiny, like, flat fin. And then in the second panel, it's a big, turd.
Well, it's the same thing on.
And then the fifth panel, it's a flip over again.
Yeah.
Well, look, it's the same thing with like the third page where his hand is like sticking out. It looks like a flat fin the way the front is versus the way.
Yeah, now it's got like
if you look at it head on, the fin head on, the fin looks like it's like a. What do you call those? Like the Eddie Munster type,
Widow's Peak,
pointed downward.
In my mind, his fin should look like the droopy turd.
Yeah,
it should look like the panel where he's in bed with Alex, with his eyes closed.
That is the fin as I imagined on Paul. But you're right; it's inconsistent all over the place, and I have to wonder if it's intentional.
It drives me effing crazy, to tell you the truth. Because Erik is like, he knows his stuff and stuff. Like, it just seems weird. Like, the only explanation I can think is that he's doing it on purpose, and I don't understand
And if
why.
you go back to the Alex scene in panel 5, you don't see very much of it because it's mostly cropped off the page.
Right.
But it looks correct there. Or quote-unquote correct. You know which panel I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's the one I'm not
where
your
it says
dragon.
I have access
Yeah, I
to
have
your
access to the
dragon
memory, so you
memories.
can kind of see how it comes to a diamond-shaped.
Yep.
Yeah,
Where-
and that's the way I think it should
Right.
look. But the panel before that, where he's like full disclosure,
Yeah.
it looks like,
And that
first of all, it looks off center.
it looks
there.
off-center because it looks like it's off-center and then flipped over the center of his head.
And he's got like the comb
It's
over.
yeah, it's a comb over. Thank you, Craig. It's a comb over fin. That's the new name we're giving it, Eric. Sorry, it's the comb over. We got the dog turd and the comb over.
Dog turd, the droopy little turd. You know what's funny?
Yeah,
Did it mess?
I don't get it.
Did it mess with your mind like that? That he called it a droopy little turd. Like, didn't you think it should be like sort of pointy on both ends, like it is in the back?
Yeah, I would say so.
Because that's how Malcolm described it. So it's kind of like a little tiny mohawk.
Yeah, it should just be a ridge. I don't know.
Wowzers.
I didn't
Yeah.
create the character.
No, but it's cool though. We didn't really even talk about like of course, you know, we're doing the review or whatever, but like, how you guys feeling? It's pretty much just like seeing Dragon run around, only it is a little different, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it's cool because I really think it gives you that best of both worlds vibe, because he's clearly weird and different, but also too, like, man, you know, he's a dick when it counts. Like, he's kind of like, I don't know. It's real similar, you know?
Yep.
I kind of like him having that fin if it's drawn consistently, but you know, you hit a little bit upon the cover of 255 that Erik released when we were talking news, and I thought on that cover, it's the first cover with Paul Dragon featured, and I thought he looked pretty cool.
I think he looks cool.
I thought it looked a little weird, and now I'm used to it after reading through this issue. I like how it looks when it's drawn, like it comes to a pointed kind of end, like it's bulbous with like that pointed end. I'm not as much of a fan as like a mini flat fin.
Yeah, like the droopy, like the point, the spike, the widow's peak is what you'll say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, going to that page where he's in bed with Alex, like if it looks like that, I'm on board with that. It looks kind of cool.
Yeah, I like the widow's peak. I think it's actually kind of neat.
Like the one time he draws it like well in like 3/4 profile is in the page where he's socking Malcolm in the face with a big how do you pronounce this sound effect?
You mean Ram?
Thracum?
Thracoom. Okay. Thracoom.
Oh, Thracum. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's the way I think it should look.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot there too, because it's you do have, like, it comes down to that little spike. Listen to us, fucking Fin experts.
Hey, we don't call. We're
It's
not
just
the
weird because
FINcast.
it's so
We're not
noticeable.
the FINcast for nothing.
Right.
It's just very, very noticeable, and the reason why it's even more noticeable is because it's the same thing he did in graphic fantasy. I feel.
Yeah,
like.
it was inconsistent there too, and it was inconsistent there now.
I will say that I think it gets more consistent as the issue goes by.
Sure.
Because, like,
You would think so, but it doesn't.
does it not?
Because-
Not really, because it's still goofy on
you're
the
right.
second from the last page.
Yeah, look at the rack where he's punching himself as the
Yeah.
big panel.
Yep.
And then, like, look at the way it comes down to Widow's Peak on the final one. Yeah,
Yep.
you're right. Sometimes, you know what? That's what's fucking with you so bad. I know you already said it, but I'm just going to say it again. The fact that sometimes it looks sharp and flat, and other times it looks like it comes down to a Widow's Peak, and it's just hard to imagine that.
I can't help but think he's trying to draw it the comb over way, but that doesn't work in like a head-on shot, so he does it the other way in all the head-on shots.
But it does, and he's an accomplished artist. I know he could just make it work. It just seems weird. It seems like it's a choice on purpose.
It might be a choice, dude. I mean, it might be a choice. Is what's
It's
so
a
funny.
choice.
I don't understand.
It's like it's like Mickey Mouse. Whenever you look, whatever profile he's in, his ears are always in the same position.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to drive you even crazier, bros. You ready for this? I think it might be a choice. The segments change on pages.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, sometimes it's just like 4, and then other times it's like a lot.
Sometimes it's more than 4.
Well, I wasn't going to count them all, but I'm just saying.
It's weird because I feel like at times Eric's such a stickler for those things that it just seems so weird to me. I don't get it.
I think we've cracked a case. It's got to be a choice. It's got to be this is a guy straight out of 84, and he'll always be straight out of 84.
Yeah. Maybe, you know what, Craig?
We'll see.
Maybe that's what it is, dude. He's just having fun drawing Paul. And he's like, I never gave a fuck back then, and I'm not going to give a fuck about it now. That'll be his visual.
We should have asked more about it. I think we touched a little bit on the interview about it, but next time.
Next time.
We'll see.
On the Savage FINcast.
Well, not literally
I know
next time, just next interview.
Right, yeah. But,
I know we talked a lot with Eric about that splash with Dart, but man, I love that.
yes, dude.
That's her freaky wide-eyed look in that mansion.
Her
Dude,
nipples,
just-
her huge aoral.
They're proportionate. You know what? I think that he has got Dark Crazy Face down to a
Oh,
fucking
yeah. She's
science.
Got a
dude.
fucking 30-yard stare that just never ends.
Yeah, dude. She looks so crazy.
She's always looking through you.
Yeah, man. It's good, though, right? Because the normal, regular Dart did never do that. And this is distinctly evil Dart's thing.
And I love how she doesn't give a shit about Dragon. She's like, yeah, whatever.
Yes.
You would think that she would care.
She's like,
She's done.
Fuck it, he's old. He's a fucking old man. Who cares?
More samurai. Give me more samurai. Give me more newer characters to kind of care about.
Love it, dude. We're getting that, though. Like, Samurai and Bug or is it Insect? Samurai and Insect are like, I feel like they're in there, dude. They're like hench women.
Yeah.
Right-hand hench women. Question. It's Chutes and Ladders they're playing, right?
On
the board
game? Looks
Alright.
like it, yes.
Just checking.
Yeah.
Just checking.
I gotta imagine so.
Yep, he's talking about Chutes and Ladders. I just wanted to check. Old Alex holding up. Still a fox. Still a silver fox. Super. So glad to, I know it's funny. I feel so bad for Alex as a character. She just can't ever seem to get that happy ending, dude. It is her curse. She's never going to get that happy ending with Dragon.
Mm.
But
Anyone notice that Malcolm's shirt says "Don't moose with me"?
yes, dude. It's awesome. It's classic.
I'm pulling for Alex. Maybe this will be it.
Dude, I'm pulling for Alex too. And you know what's funny is before regular actual Dragon went to heaven, I feel like he was sort of pulling towards Alex too. That was the cruelty of him biting the bullet. He had Jennifer right there, and he was like, He's like, I'm fucking old and she's young, and I don't know. I think he was gonna go the way of the Alex.
I'm still enjoying that Eric's foray back into 90s panels with all the scratchy panels in the battle between Malcolm and Dragon.
Hell yes, dude. That fight.
I love take a look, guys, at the 2 pages, the one with the Braccabadoom, and then the second page next to it with it starts with the panel where Malcolm's saying "What the hell."
Mm-hmm.
Look at that page and how beautiful that is in color, with each sound effect in a different color and in the same spot of each panel going down. It's so neat.
Yes, dude. And I love the use of the zipatone on Malcolm's fin on that Scrowl panel.
Yeah.
So good, dude.
Eric's art has been on point, and I feel like whenever Eric's art is exceptional, you can tell he's just having a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to imagine how fun was this to have him do. This is basically Dragon versus Malcolm.
Right.
which is great. I love it. I love to get to see Dragon like just fucking duke it out because Shades of Kerr. We saw how
It's
it
like
went last time.
Full size Dragon and full size Malcolm too.
Right. And you notice Malcolm had to hit him with the juice. Had to give him the only electric powers.
Yep.
So good, dude. I love it. That panel where he's like, the Skakathracum. Oh,
Yeah.
the lightning punch to the head. He doesn't say it, but he's doing it, dude. The signature move. I love it. It's so good. Dude, is there significance to Dragon's 76 on his jersey?
I don't know.
Actually, hold on a second.
Just curious.
Was it year he was created?
I don't know. That's what I'm wondering. If there was any kind of significance to it. If you don't know, we won't kill airtime with it. I just did want to say that I also, while you're looking that up, Jim, I love this, and Eric said it in our interview, but I love this super tiny panels page where you've got the callback. It was a callback to issue 1? Or
which one?
The
Page?
conversation where they're at the picnic table before the fight starts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I love it. I love the visual callbacks of this sequence. Because in a way, it's very similar. Dragon didn't have his memory and, when the Possessor attacked. It's so good, dude.
It was a callback between Dragon and Frank, right?
Right. And so you got Malcolm and Dragon talking here. Are we going to call Paul Dragon? What are we going to... Do you guys feel like calling him Dragon already?
No, he's Paul.
He's Paul, right?
To me, it's interchangeable.
What about just Paul Dragon? I don't know. I'm digging it, dude. I'm digging it. I'm glad. I'll tell you what I am glad of. I'm glad that Malcolm didn't just accept him. I'm glad that he rejected the idea of this guy just showing up and being like, hey, son. Because that would have been fucking weird. Even if it gets there eventually. And a thing, again, I didn't want to tie up our precious Eric interview with this, but I want you to think about a cool thing with Malcolm is how much adopted family he has. He's got, Angel is his half-sister. He's got Lightning Lass is his half-sister. He's got Thunderhead as his half-brother.
Is that her name now, Lightning Lass, or is it just still Lightning?
Well, Lightning Lass is a Legion of Superheroes member. I'm pretty sure it's just Lightning Girl.
Oh.
Lightning Girl, my bad. Sorry, dudes. I didn't mean to get your Legion. I thought, Jim, that was actually a very clever crossover. I thought some of your Legion listeners might be listening to this, but whatever. Okay. I think it's cool. Malcolm has a lot of sort of adopted family. And it's cool in a way if Paul does kind of become an adopted father. It just fits Malcolm's story so well that he just, I don't know, he's open to that, dude. If he eventually accepts Paul as a dad, a father figure, actually to me wouldn't even be that weird because damn, dude, he was super quick to accept Thunderhead as a brother. They were fucking fighting in a graveyard, and he's like, wait a minute, lightning powers? Did we just become best friends? He was really into that quick, so yeah, I'm just saying, if him and Paul get there, I think it'd be kind of fitting. I think it'd be kind of cool.
You guys find it weird how easy Malcolm kills, especially in this issue where it wasn't oh, oops, I fried him with my electric powers. It was I'm just going to stomp this guy's head out.
I gotta say, at this point, he probably just does it so much he doesn't give a fuck,
Yeah. It's a cool panel, though.
It is very cool. As much as I'm bitching about it, dude, I do kind of love just Malcolm jumped up real high and then just came back down.
It's kind of interesting. It's kind of almost an invincible pose.
Yeah.
Trying to remember if it's from something specific, but it looks like he's flying away.
I love the last panel. You've got a hell of a right hook for an old man. You have no idea.
It's kind of ominous, isn't it?
I just like it, father and son just kind of hand on his shoulder, and Malcolm looks so much bigger than Dragon.
He is, dude. That's a the Erik always said everyone draws Dragon giant, but it was the fin. The fin made people think he was giant, and Paul has a really small fin. So but Paul next to Malcolm.
It does kind of imply that Malcolm is huge, though. Of course, he's got his mom's height, I think.
Yeah, Malcolm, Dragon's 5'10",
Yeah,
without the fin.
So Malcolm wouldn't even have to be. He's only, if you look at that panel, he's only one head taller. That would make him 6 whatever. We've got Malcolm's height.
Malcolm says 6'4". Now I don't know if that means with the fin or what, but
I'd assume that's his head, dude. Because look at him standing next to Paul.
Yeah, which is kind of neat.
You're right, dude. That's a really cool panel, and I don't know why, but that image of them walking through the rubble, arm over each other, with the famous Funnies underneath it. It's kind of a cool thing,
Yeah.
Cool visual. It was a good fight, dudes. I love it. I love Malcolm's fried fin. I love that we got to see Paul. I think that Mind Warp is a fucking kick-ass villain. It's a shame, but I think it was cool just to, I don't know. I wasn't expecting much action, and then, goddamn, we got a pretty sweet barn burner fight scene.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we don't end there.
We didn't talk about this last time at all, so I'm very excited. Because, guys, to me, this is some very fine Frank Fosco work.
Absolutely. Ethrian.
Yeah, I think he's really firing on all cylinders with this backup.
And it's how it should have been presented. So for the listeners that don't know, this backup was presented as an entire one-shot, which was basically a Vanguard one-shot, which guest starred Ethrian. I forget what year it came out, but it was called Vanguard Ethereal Warriors. Do you guys know the year on that?
Oh,
I don't.
Off the top of my head, I could go grab my issue, but that would take a minute.
It was black and white, and I'm pulling it up right now so I can tell
The
you.
little caption box
Came out
does
in
tell you.
August 2000.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's got to be early because this caption box tells you that it's takes place way back before Savage Dragon 145 even. So.
Well, that just means it takes place before the backup, the Ethrian backup in 145, which was a new backup. It's just giving you a context of where it fits in for Ethrian.
Sure.
But yeah, 2000, it was a 47-page black and white one-shot Vanguard Ethereal Warriors by Gary Carlson and Frank Fosco. The way it, from what I remember and how it was told to us, was it was originally this was supposed to come out as a backup in the original Vanguard series, but when Vanguard got canceled early, they moved it into an Ethereal Warriors one-shot. So you're supposed to get a few backup, and then it was supposed to go into a regular Vanguard issue where Ethrian fought Vanguard or something, one of those misunderstandings.
Cool.
But now we're seeing it for the first time in color and serialized like it should have been. And it looks gorgeous. It's colored by Nikos in the same style he's been coloring Dragon as of late.
Oh, yeah, man. And it could not look better. Just the combo of Frank's art and Nikos's colors are... What a team. What a team.
And Ethrian is kind of what would you call him? Kind of like a cross between He-Man and Superman in a way.
I would say this is more of a New God send-up.
Yeah, Samson.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Samson character, He's arrogant a little bit. He's a god for sure.
There's a bunch of these superhumans that each have a lens, which is kind of like a power source from their planet.
I guess it's it focuses this thing called the Powerhouse's power.
The Powerhouse is kind of like a Castle Grayskull that harnesses the power of the planet.
I'm pretty sure Ethrian predates He-Man. I'd have to check the numbers on that, but I'm pretty sure
No, he does, because this is a Frank creation from when he was like a teenager.
Right. But yes, it is somewhat similar conceptually to He-Man in terms of like power source, and although he doesn't change forms,
Which is like a New Gods thing too. But yeah, so there's all these like characters. There's Zecora, who's kind of like this, shows up as this evil guy who has a lens. There's Lord Amalak, who's like the king of this. What's the planet?
I don't. Is he the king? I just thought he was like a head, like
something to that effect, because they call him Lord.
Yeah, but
Amalek.
I think he's like the caretaker of the powerhouse or something. I think the staffs have something to do of some importance.
Well, yeah, there's there's guys that wield the staff, and they kind of focus the power, I guess.
Yeah.
They control the power, and then the other guys are more warriors that use the power.
Right. They're stewards of the power. They're like watch over.
I feel dumb. I feel dumb because we did talk about this way back when the saga kind of continued with Ethrian, but it's just been
we didn't. We didn't start doing the FINcast until issue 175, which was after Ethrian ended.
Oh, all right. Well, then I've read it all, but it's been.
You are thinking of Ethrian's appearances in Vanguard backup.
I am. You're right. So a couple other different players. You got Gon, who's this kind of like turtle guy, and Thiessen, who's this other kind of guy with a weird kind of like Gomer Pyle hat or something. And then we'll see other characters in the next installment. But for this one, it looks like they're battling over these lenses, where they kind of establish that there's a select group of people on this planet that control the lenses, and they're only supposed to each have one. And one of these guys, Zecora, is kind of power hungry, and he's trying to collect them all, I guess. Kind of like the Infinity Gauntlet.
Right. Yeah, the more you get, like he has two in the beginning of this backup, and he's like, now my power's double yours. And then like he gets a third one, and it's like, oh shit, like E3 knows he's fucked, so.
I love some of these scenes here, like the first one that shows kind of like the Lord Amalek or whatever, and it's got that powerhouse building on the top panel.
Yeah.
And like just the view, it's just good.
The boom behind it, that one you mean?
Yeah.
I like it sort of, you called him a turtle, but to me he's like a weird kind of armadillo dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's definitely got like...
Also, he doesn't have a lens, so he gets his ass beat immediately.
What was he thinking, dude? Like, not even close.
He's like a loyal servant.
Gangway! Whoop! Like the very next panel. It's like, dude.
But it definitely has that like He-Man vibe of like sword and sorcery mixed with alien tech.
Yeah.
And of course, just badass fight scenes. Like just dudes punching the shit out of each other.
Yeah. And Ethrian's kind of a dick.
Yeah, he is. It was funny is like he's the lead, but like he's kind of a jerk, kind of a d-bag. Amalek gives him the blast though, dude, and you know what, Jim? I know it's fucking with you. This dude even yells, "Now I am the power." It's like, come on, he even yells it. But when he turns him into Kirby Crackles, because he like banishes him with the. He's trying to, like, banish him with the staff?
He's trying to, like, destroy him, but it ends up just sending him to
He's
Earth.
trying to siphon the power out of his lenses, I think. But it doesn't really work the way he thinks it's going to work.
And you can see in that panel with the crackle that one lens comes off of his helmet.
Yeah.
And he leaves it behind. And apparently we will find out where he went in the next installment.
The fourth and final lens is mine. Godhood is at hand. What if he talked that way? What if that was how he talked?
That'd be terrific.
Amalek, even you cannot stop me now. You serve the power. And now
Hey, man.
I am the power.
Hey, man.
It's good though. I love it. I'm gonna give it proper praise. I'm just being silly. I think Powerhouse is cool. I think it's a cool looking design. I think all of these guys have a distinct and cool visual. I've never heard Frank like talk about Mobius, but I feel like our man that is kneeled over Zakura's little glowing remnants there is very Mobius kind of looking. So there's kind of like it's more than just like
that's Thiessen.
Thiessen. So Thiessen, I gotta admit, dudes, I am so bad with fantasy names. Like, they gotta have normal ass names for it to stick in my brain. I don't know why.
That's Nelson.
That's thank you, Greg. Greg has leaned over the universe where Joshua got zapped into the different dimension. But like, I'm saying,
I need Christian names. Damn it.
It's cool to me because I feel like, with Frank you see so much Kirby influence, but I feel like in this man, I don't know if he's like intentionally getting some Mobius vibes or a He-Man shit going on or whatever, but I think it's cool, man. I think there's some cool stuff. When Etrian punches him so hard into the wall and just that panel of him like coming out of there, like his hands like leaning forward to pull himself out. And then he's like got his hand like sort of wiping his mouth and he's smiling. You'd see the lenses like glowing out of the darkness. And he's like, that's good shit, dude. Like this is really like some top tier work. So he can feel good. I think it's really like solid Frank work. I think he stands shoulder to shoulder with anything he's done.
Yeah, it's cool to see it in color.
And Nico's talking about the color. I'm glad you said that. Nico's absolutely correctly chose to channel some Euro coloring. Like that Powerhouse panel on the very last page of this backup where it's like boom and the whole world trembles. Dude, that panel is like straight out of Heavy Metal.
Yeah.
Don't you, now we're saying that, don't you get like the Lochnar? Like with Greg leaned over the green glow.
Greg, he says.
It's good, dude. I love it.
Good stuff, yeah. I enjoy long serials that are superheroic.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Agreed.
And Frank Fosco art's always a plus.
I love it. I love this kind of stuff. I like the twisted funnies and stuff that we get too, but I love a serialized 6-7 pager at the end of every issue. It's cool.
Do you guys have the print issue on hand?
Not yet.
Yes.
What's on the back cover?
Yes. The letters.
Oh, okay. I guess it had crammed for space.
Strange. It's so crammed in we didn't get a funnies, and our letters are on the back cover.
It's cool. I'm okay. You know why I'm okay with that? I know it's a weird graphic visual, but it's just kind of a reminder that people write into Savage Dragon.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people write into a lot of other comics, so...
There's still letters on this one about Savage Dragon 247, so there's a lot of backlog.
Very cool. Very cool. 251, I think we gave it the appropriate deep dive before we jump into 252. I think we did a really nice little look back at that. What do you say? You guys got any lingering thoughts?
Fun to get a full issue with Paul Dragon for the first time. I mean, when we left 251, he was on the last panel. We didn't know what to expect. Would it just be some silly doppelganger, weird, imposter guy? Yeah. And to get a full issue and find out that seems like he's the real deal.
Yeah.
He was basically in the issue more than Malcolm, I feel like.
Yeah. You got to think, Jim, I know you touched on it, but you got to think those guys who are like, we want Dragon back. You got to think they're pretty happy, right?
No.
No? Paul Dragon.
You don't think they're happy?
Paul Dragon's not Dragon?
No. Not too Dragon enough, I'm afraid.
I think they're happy. I think anyone in their right mind should be happy.
Yeah.
I think it's we keep saying this, but it's the best of both worlds. It's you get Dragon back, but it's not the cop out of the same Dragon, and the visual difference I think is also key.
Yes, agreed. I've seen some talk of people like wishing and hoping that the green turd becomes a normal full-size Finn. I'm going to go ahead and put it out there in the universe that I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I don't either.
I really don't.
I thought this was on. You're talking about. I think there was like a thread on Facebook, and Erik was like, "We'll see" or something. He left it at that.
He left it open, but
yeah.
Again, obviously, whatever.
I'm all for floppy turd.
Yeah,
Pro floppy turd.
Get that floppy turd.
No comb over. Yeah, I just want the fucking
creepy comb over dragon is not
Widow's Peak.
Widow's Peak log.
Widow's Peak log. Nail down the number of segments. Keep it consistently Widow's Peak, and you have a distinct visual that is honestly cool. I think it's cool. And I jokingly said this, but I meant it too. You could, for the first time, have a dragon character who could wear hats. And I know that sounds funny, but it's like, dude, dragon in a hat?
It would still be difficult to wear a hat with that thing on your head.
Not a toboggan.
He's just going to wear a 10-gallon hat everywhere.
Hello. 10-gallon.
I'm Savage Dragon.
It's no different than a mohawk. You think guys with mohawks got to wear giant hats? Come on. Come on with that silliness. Get out of here.
You can't get a fitted hat around that ridge in the back. Everything will be tight.
A toboggan? Come on, a toboggan's like a head sock. No way. No way, dude. I just don't buy it. What if he wore toupees? Would you be okay with that? He just put like an afro wig on over top of it? That's a great visual, dude. I'm just saying. I would love that. I would love it.
You're insane.
I know.
You shut your mouth.
I know. I'm an idiot. I'm a buffoon.
I think we got to get into it, man.
Yeah, we got to go. I think we got to do Savage Dragon 252, baby.
Gotta go.
We got that double header.
252. Absolutely insane. Insanity.
Yes, dude. Yes. What did we do to deserve such a gift? Honestly, would you have ever called this shit in a million years?
I don't know, because he's done so much wacky shit already, but no, maybe not. It's just... the funny thing about 252 and this Funnies issue is that you got the impression that Erik was happy with COVID, that he was finally getting back on track, and it was going to be like all these issues built up.
Uh-huh.
And then he goes and pulls this shit on himself and pulls himself back like 2 or 3 months because it takes so long to, I guess, master these art styles and get them to a point where he's comfortable with the way they look, or just even pick and decide what to use.
We touched on it in the interview, and I mean, I did a little sample, but here's the artist's scoop. When you're drawing something and you're drawing it in your own style, the only thing you have to fight, you've seen Erik's roughs, and for the listeners, if you haven't seen Erik's roughs, they are the scribbliest hint or suggestion of what needs to be on the page. Most of the actual drawing happens as he is drawing it, right? And that's the way it is when you're drawing in your own style. When you have to draw in someone else's style, you are literally having to reference everything. You don't get to make the choices you want. You have to look at how they would compose a shot. You have to look at the choices they would make for certain, like, anatomy, like, perspective. It's a nightmare, dude. I drew a 4-panel gag of Garfield, and I don't think it looks very much like Garfield. It actually was terrible compared to, like, these things Erik did here. Like, and it's funny because just little things. Like, I had...
You telling me that Jim Davis defeated you, Raven?
He did, dude. Jim Davis defeated me, is what I'm saying. I'm saying that to draw a 4-panel gag, I had to look up like 20 strips to get reference for just different things that Jim Davis would have done that Raven would never do. And I still ended up doing something that I don't think Jim Davis would ever do. Like, I had like Garfield in the back and like Maxine and Malcolm in the foreground. Dude, there's none of that. Everyone in Garfield is side by side.
Side by side in front of a chest-high table.
Yes. Yeah. They're all... And that's what I'm talking about. And so you can imagine Erik's drawing this issue, but dude, he's not getting to like have really creative freedom at all. He's very much having to like look at everything and make sure it fits this other person's mold. So, whew, no wonder this killed his lead. He had a huge lead. He had a huge lead. Yikes is all I'm saying.
So we've already talked about the cover, which is a blondie-looking thing.
Yep. Very much Dagwood trying to make a sandwich.
Yeah, I gotta say, Jack has the most Dagwood face of the bunch, I'd say. I like it. I like because the characters are recognizable as both Blondie characters and Dragon characters.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's something he excels at this whole issue, actually.
Indeed.
I think.
Like, we'll turn the page to the first page, and that Jack here again has the most Billy-ass Billy face.
He does, dude. Dude, they're little round heads with the fin on top.
Yeah.
That shit is so funny, dude.
I gotta say, it's kind of funny he used the Family Circus one for the first page. I guess it makes sense.
Right.
Of course, did you know Family Circus is not a comic?
What?
Family Circus is not a comic. It is merely a cartoon. You see, Family Circus, a comic, as defined by
Here we go.
Oh fuck! Scott McCloud. A comic has to have two images juxtaposed together. So merely having a single image with text juxtaposed upon it is not a comic.
You cannot imagine that Scott Cloud was neglecting Family Circus and Far Side when he made his definition.
I actually think he mentions both of them as not being actually comics.
Are you shitting me?
I gotta double check the book, but I'm pretty sure he mentions it because he acknowledges that it excludes them both.
All right, I got a question.
They're like,
while you're checking that out, okay, Familiar Circus. So another nice thing that Erik does is he parodies like names, like clever names for the thing. So instead of Family Circus, we have Familiar Circus. What is this?
Vaguely similar circus.
What is the 5-31?
That's a date. It's May 31st. All newspaper strips do this.
yeah.
Why is it dated that?
They always date them like that. That's when it was drawn, I assume.
He drew this back in May?
Yeah, maybe.
Probably the first
Yeah.
one.
No way, dude.
I mean, what is this coming out? What year is this? This is coming out in
August. I mean,
Dude,
September.
it's
September.
basically
September.
June, so...
I mean, this may have been his impetus, perhaps, or
but
maybe he.
Why is that hard to believe, Raven? It's May 31st, so basically a June, and this thing came out in August.
September.
This is August.
Well, it's going to be
But
September.
it's September.
Yeah, it's going to be September.
Oh,
But it is
You're right.
September, Craig. It's September.
you're right. Can you guys pull out that little like laser beam and shoot it into the internet and erase everyone's memory of me saying that?
Yes, dude. Hey, listen. Wish granted. If anyone remembers this, you're a jerk and you're remembering lies.
Lies.
But
Well,
yes,
I gotta
yes,
say-
Raven. That is, newspaper comic strips often just put the date like that. I think it has to do with because they crank out so many. It keeps
Sure, yeah.
It gives the newspaper people knowledge of when to place them.
Mm-hmm.
They don't put the years. They just put the month and day. Although most newspaper strips also have a copyright strip that tells you the year.
Well, I got to say also, too, because we gotta sort of judge this stuff. I'm sorry, with each strip, it really begs this. You have to sort of throw this out here. So he's sort of emulating the humor, right?
Yes.
So, like, I know how I feel about this.
Yeah, I mean, he's not really emulating the humor because this is funny.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was going to say, dude. He actually made it funny, and I hate Family Circus.
Family Circus is
Dude,
the worst.
And this,
When you heard that he was going to do Family Circus, I mean, I don't know how you guys felt, but I thought for sure it was going to be one of those little dash line cartoons where the character's walking all over the place.
I didn't actually envision that because this is literally all I know. I've never seen the dash line. I've only seen...
Really? What?
Yeah, I've only...
I thought that's what they're like known for.
The circle. Dude, they are known for the circle.
But you, Jim, you know, right? What I'm talking about?
Those strips generally are only Sunday strips. The Sunday strips are sometimes comics.
Scott McCloud says. Yeah, this is actually funny. That's the funny thing. This gag actually works. So,
Dude, you know what's crazy? let's think about the job that Ferran Delgado has done on this comic as we go through and we look at all the different fonts that match exactly how the comics look.
Yes, dude.
I do want to say one more thing about this before we move on.
Sure.
I think this is one of the cases where the art style doesn't exactly match the characters that well. All the dragons look great, but I think Maxine
She totally looks like the mom.
She looks exactly like the mom from the strip, and I don't think it works. I think she's too tall. Her neck's... Something about her is just off.
It's hard, I think. You're trying to
hard.
use your characters, make it look like the other strip, and it's... you want to make it somewhat resemble.
Well, like, even when she's Olive Oil later on, like, she's way taller than Maxine would be, but I think she needs to be tall because Olive Oil's tall.
The funny thing is she's not wearing any pants.
I know, dude. Isn't that funny?
She never wears pants.
No bras, no panties. That was on her shirt in the last issue. No bras, no panties. So funny, dude. This is good. I got to tell you, when he said, I'm not going to lie, Craig, here's the thing. When he said Family Circus and you envisioned dotted line, I envisioned myself hanging from a rafters with a noose because I fucking hate Family Circus. But this was good. This was actually funny. And what's funny is he didn't even have to shit on... I thought he was going to shit on Family Circus, because it's so lame. Because almost anybody who tries to do a Family Circus parody kind of mean-naturedly shits on Family Circus. This gag doesn't shit on Family Circus and yet is actually good. Dude, bravo. 10 out of 10 Family Circus strip. I loved it.
And how hard is it to fit some, like, huge muscular Malcolm character into one of these characters in every strip? It's got to be difficult to, like, make it look right.
And yet, man, it works.
Yeah, absolutely. You see that, you know exactly what he's doing.
Mm-hmm. So now we got Piglets featuring good old Matty Dragon. And guys, before we get in the strip, I want you to appreciate another didn't have to do it thing. Did you notice that Erik's signature even echoes?
Yeah.
Is that not crazy?
Yeah, everything.
Like
no, they just went all out.
Instead of just saying Schultz, like, instead of saying Erik Larsen, or he made it like Charles Schultz signed his shit Schultz. So he just signs this by Larsen. Oh.
Well, and again, I'm going to give mad praise to Ferran Delgado because the Peanuts font is the Peanuts font. No one else has font like that. You could see a speech bubble and know which strip that's from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, they got it.
Absolutely.
It's just those little details that other cartoonists wouldn't do to go above and beyond to make this thing look exactly as if, it was drawn by the creator.
So I'm going to tell you a little behind-the-scenes stuff that I find fascinating about newspaper comics.
Oh, lay it on us.
Well, don't get too excited.
Okay. I've reined it in.
Forget it.
Yeah.
All right, so have either of you ever read Calvin and Hobbes, the 10th anniversary book?
At some point I did. At some point I owned it, but I
So
sold it.
that book is one of the greatest books ever if you just want to get inside the nuts and bolts of what newspaper comics are like, because it's basically 150 pages of Bill Watterson bitching about syndicated newspaper strips.
Uh-huh.
So here's something that I learned from that book. Sunday funnies some newspapers don't show the entire comic strip. They chop off the top two panels.
Yeah.
And they only print the bottom two layers for space reasons.
Yikes.
So here's the thing. Newspaper comic book creators, newspaper strip creators for Sundays use the first two panels in the first row as a throwaway gag almost 99% of the time, so that they can be excised from the comic and not lose anything in the writing.
Okay.
Erik, going through this, any comic that has the traditional three, how am I going to phrase this? 3 layered style, not so much
3 rows.
Three
the 3 row
rows.
style.
Yeah.
Kind of follows that rule, like in this Piglet strip, you see Maddie at her desk, and you see the kids saying you can't go to school because you're too little.
So you're saying
if
if
you
they
cut
off
off
the
those
top row,
tops,
it still makes sense.
this comic still makes sense without those two panels, because in the very beginning of the second row, Maddie says, I'm big, I want to go to school, and then she throws her tantrum, and then you get the punchline. You don't need the other characters telling her she can't go.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
So I'm curious if Erik kept that in mind when he did this, or if it is a big coincidence. Because because the Piglets one, it works. The next one, the Rex Melvin one, it works, and the Angel one, it works. Although I have not double checked the others. And then the Thimble Theater one follows different rules entirely.
Yeah, because that's like based on an older strip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, but that's just something that, and that's what Watterson was always so pissed off about, is because he wasn't allowed to break structure, because newspapers could just chop chunks of your comic off. So you can't just. That's why in the beginning, Calvin and Hobbes had a very strict panel structure, and then later on, he was allowed finally to start breaking all the rules and have the more elaborate layouts.
Gotcha.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And also they could reconfigure your panels. That's another thing. Sometimes they would be laid out like this, and sometimes they would redo it so they were taller. That would happen too. So you had to had to give the newspaper all the flexibility in presentation.
Oof.
So
Did
anyway,
you guys, as you read this, did you hear the do 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 do?
not me. I mean, I know the song, but I generally don't add soundtracks when I read comics.
Me?
I don't know. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying, like, when you... No, I was saying is, like, dude, I did. I could hear the voice, like, I'm big, I want to go to school. Like, just like the cartoon, dude.
Wow.
How great is that wham panel?
I like no.
I like the I'm not too little, like pounding on the floor.
Yeah.
That and the last panel, I love. Like, I love that Erik chose to make the kids different shades of green. I think that's an ingenious idea that he's done in the regular series, and it proves it here. It's just, it makes sense. It's visually interesting.
Although, I guess I'm kind of curious
great.
why Maddie and Amy aren't the same shade. I guess Maddie takes after her dad's darker color.
Yeah, is what I'm getting, because notice that Amy has freckles like Maxine.
That's true.
And 10 toes, too. So in a way, Amy's like way more like Maxine, and Maddie is way more like Malcolm.
Yeah. Love it.
It is. It's awesome. It's very
I love that she has her little lightning powers, too.
coming off. I want to go. You can't stop me. The lightning powers are coming out.
It's also kind of interesting, too, because, like, it's establishing in this strip that she's getting old, that she can talk.
Yeah. She can talk pretty damn good.
I don't know how old she is at this point.
3 or 4, I think.
She's not, like... I don't think she's that old, but I could be wrong.
This actually opens with a birthday. So, her birthday. So, she literally had a birthday at the beginning of this comic.
Yeah. Now I gotta look it up.
At any rate, I think we've said our piece. I think the fucking Peanuts one was another 10 out of 10. Like, absolute home run of execution.
So, one of the strips I requested was Rex Morgan. Because why would he ever do Rex Morgan?
I can't believe that you got a Rex Morgan in here, dude. That's weird.
Rex Melvin, digital devil story.
What is DDS?
I don't know. I think it's dental doctor of dentist sciences. I don't know.
Doctor of dental sciences. Yeah, I believe you're right.
This is the story of Maxine finally getting her braces out. So now all people who say she looks like she's 16 can shut the fuck up.
I know, dude. Adult braces.
Oh, so Maddie is born on May 31st, 2018.
Oh, so there's only like 3.
2.
Well, it's just your birthday. Well, I guess she would be 2. 1,
Yeah.
2.
2.
Okay. He's talking a lot for a 2-year-old.
Talking up a storm, dude.
No, not
No?
really. 2-year-olds can talk.
We're
like
both
that.
fatherless. I mean, no, well, I don't know about your father. I'm fatherless. We're both childless, so Craig, we will listen to you as the authority. You would definitely know.
2-year-olds can definitely talk like that.
Can they say, "Why? No, no, no"?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm joking because I totally know they can.
So, I can't believe Maxine puts up all this.
Trying to get those braces off, dude. She might even be gassed.
No, see, maybe, but they don't imply that.
DDS is Doctor of Dental Surgery.
Oh, surgery.
I'd say you'd probably want to be gassed to have your braces off, right?
It's just
No.
adhesive. I think it just has to pop them off.
Yeah.
Well, I know that actually, it's funny. This issue, I was worried there wouldn't be much in the way of like things happening, but it is kind of hilarious because, man, those braces really stuck in the craw of a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so it's funny because like I know so many adults that get adult braces, and I'm just like, to me it was like not a big deal, but like, man, dude, those braces pissed a lot of people off. So I'm happy for them. But then check it out. Hilariously, we had a huge back and forth about, does Maxine even wear her Sailor Moon outfit anymore? She's totally wearing it. She's totally wearing it this issue. So here you go. Yeah, so the braces are gone, but the Sailor Moon outfit remains, dude.
So this is a really stupid thing for me. Erik doesn't do this very often, or at least I don't recall him doing this very often, of doing like the really black inked hair with the blue highlights.
Sure.
And that's something that like I think of when I think of Rex Morgan, because it's a very old school kind of like
Superman,
illustration.
dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I kind of like how he's really emphasized the hair here.
Oh yeah. That's a really, like, in order to carry the style off, yeah, that's absolutely like on point.
Yeah, that's Rex Morgan's look. I mean, basically, it's Rex Morgan as a dentist.
A creepy pervert.
Rapey dentist.
Yeah. What's funny is that, like, I guess he's not that bad because he's just like, he is trying to sort of like.
Wait, what? He's not that bad?
No, he's bad, but I'm saying he's not rapey. He's trying to work his way up to an affair, basically. Because he's like laying out all this out about his personal life and whatever else. And then he's like, so with your braces off, he's like trying to go for it. So I mean, he's not that bad. This could have been way creepier, you know.
He starts off with saying, "Could you open up, please? I meant your legs."
Okay, he's a goddamn creep. He's a creep. He gets his comeuppance. He gets bashed real good in the teeth. I don't know. It's funny. I like this Maxine, guys. I think this is kind of like, we've got some cute Maxine drawings on this page.
And she gets her braces off,
Yeah.
so it's like something that kind of advances something going on. I mean, next issue she'll have no braces.
Yeah. You got to take that. What's funny is that, again, we'll call back. We'll get there when we get there, but it's kind of like, I was in love with this idea, but I was also worried there wouldn't be an extreme amount of progression. And there actually kind of is. Everybody kind of has a little bit of progression here. That's a kind of genius thing about this issue, is it would feel like just an experiment where you're not gonna get progress. But even if something as simple as Maxine gets her braces off, Maddie has a birthday, that's shit that counts. The kids have started homeschooling because of COVID. And dude, we gotta talk about... Oh, wait, hold on. So, rating. Rex Melvin. See, I'm not familiar with Rex Morgan, but, like, I did like this strip. Like, I thought it was funny and well-drawn. So, what's your rating, Jim, since you were the Rex Morgan guy?
I think it's as good. It's very good. I think it's great. I mean, Rex Morgan is an awful, awful old person comic strip, and this captures all of its old person comic stripness.
There you go. All right. Well, that's all the praise you can...
I love the last panel.
Only Mary Worth is worse.
How funny is that the last panel is like completely orange versus like the rest of it, and it just emphasizes like him getting his ass beat, right. And like, and the face, you know, that she's making as she walks away is just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Maxine's just like horrified.
You know what? I'm going to say this again too. I think that it.
You know, she.
Well, no, I was just going to say it's important to say. Actually, you want to talk about like plot points or whatever? You see in this issue several times Maxine has a chance to be a sexual deviant and doesn't take it. And this is actually time number 1.
You know what's super interesting about this strip?
What's that?
Is that Maxine's a major character in it. She doesn't say one word of dialogue.
And yet sells the comedy through her actions.
Yeah.
It's funny, dude. This is good. This is good. I don't have Rex Morgan knowledge, but
You're
this
not
is
missing
solid.
much.
Also, quick question. Do you guys think that the dental equipment on the table in the third panel was meant to evoke titties?
No, I don't think so. I think that's your own perverted mind.
What? How dare you? Listeners, if you think Rex Melvin's dental equipment was meant to represent boobs, you let me know at savagefincast@gmail.com. I am not alone.
You're alone.
So I love this Angel strip.
Dude, me too. And
This is so on point.
Dude, I was not expecting at all.
I'm an abnormally big fan of Kathy because it ran in my local newspaper, so I read it all the time.
Dude, I
All of her
fucking hate
adventures
Kathy.
in Irving and the bad choices she makes constantly.
Oh, Kathy sucks so much, Jim. Do you
Sucks.
really like Kathy?
I don't like Kathy. But it becomes part of you.
No, dude, I do not let shitty things become part of me.
You can't like, you gotta take the good with the bad.
No.
You gotta suffer
don't.
through those BC comics and the Mother Goose and Grimm and
No.
especially
You
except Prince Valiant. I could never ever get myself to read Prince Valiant. I think it's because it was only in my Sunday paper and it was like that weird strip that always looked sort of biblical, so I didn't want anything to do with it.
At least Prince Valiant was well drawn.
Heathen.
That's the one thing I wasn't here. I guess I thought he might do a Prince Valiant.
Kathy looks like it was drawn by someone in 5 minutes.
As an artist, it's not that easy to draw like this.
No, dude, listen. There's no line weight in Kathy, which Erik doesn't have any line weight here. Dude, okay, first of all, never mind Kathy. Let's talk about Erik nailed the shit out of the Kathy style.
Oh, yeah.
Right? He nailed it. It was another total home run. Not only did he get the tone, not only did he get the sense of humor, but he also made it work for conveying information and actually progressing things. Like, it's kind of funny because we have 2 progress points here. Like, Angel's packed it on.
Angel's fatty.
Angel's getting big. And Alex, we have some Alex moments here where Alex has actually been enjoying her chance to sort of like have more time with Angel. And Alex is bringing up something that I totally didn't even think about. She's like, yeah, dude, like, this quarantine will probably be over for us soon because COVID is being taken very seriously here. And so it's kind of funny because I was actually thinking in my American brain, I was like, man, they're going to be in lockdown for so many months. But Erik actually probably doesn't even have to worry about that, putting the book in Canada. He might actually be done with COVID stories in just like another month or 2. So it's kind of cool.
I hope the wait is canon.
Dude, me too. Listen, Jim. God,
You hope what is canon?
the wait.
I hope she's a little chubbier next time we see her.
I think that was
So
such
meat on those bones.
That'd be great.
Dude, yes, dude. Like, give more body diversity. We were just talking about body diversity in Savage Dragon. If Angel had, like, a tummy and, like, love handles and stuff, yes, dude, go for it.
God, I just can't. It hurts for me to look at the strip because it's so shitty
Dude,
drawn.
he nailed it, though.
So shittily drawn.
He nailed it, though, right?
Oh, no, I know. It's just shit.
Alex looks so fucking old.
Yeah, I think she looks like Kathy's mom.
Yeah, dude.
Which was, I think, the whole point. But yes, she looks ancient.
The fucking apple dumpling chin. Oh, my goodness, dude.
Again, I just want to say, Erik, like you guys said, like nailed the style, nailed the tone, and I gotta say, Ferran Delgado again with the fonts, he adds so much to this. You know, obviously Erik did the brunt of the work, but without the fonts and everything, it just doesn't work as well.
You're right. If this had just been like one generic font throughout the whole issue, it wouldn't have even been close. Like this, dude, you look at this. This looks like some Kathy shit. Like if
Even the logos are like dead on.
Yeah. So good, dude. This for me, this was another 10 out of 10. I mean, a total home run.
So then we come to my favorite strip. Because holy fuck, does Derek nail this?
Yes, dude.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yes. This is my favorite, too. Holy shit, bro. I was not expecting this to be so good.
My favorite panel is in this.
I'll let you guys talk. I've talked too much. Take it away.
No.
I'll just throw this out. Popeye, the cashier, his line, "Do you think I'm a cowboy?" is actually the first thing Popeye ever said. That was his first piece of dialogue ever delivered. So that's a very cool historical callback for Popeye the Sailor Man fans.
It's so great because he's in the public domain.
Yeah. So there's no reason why he can't show up.
It's kind of sucky that Malcolm's not wearing a mask.
He doesn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, but other people don't know that.
Do they not?
I just think it's more of a design.
Yes.
You know, he couldn't show the kind of Popeye type mouth or anything like that with a mask. It would just take away too much.
Right.
And where he gives him the fucking squint eye. No need to get tesky, pal.
You do that so good. You've been practicing?
Oh, my life. That was quite a wallop.
But holy shit, these action scenes are pure Seeger or Cigar.
Yeah. The uppercut is my favorite.
Really,
panel.
the uppercut. My favorite panel is the fucking bottom left.
The multiple Malcolms.
That is pure Popeye.
Yeah.
That is how it's freaking done.
I think that one. I think the third row center, with the way he's like Malcolm's flying away.
Yes, dude.
That's a good one.
Angle.
So good.
I like the uppercut one. In my mind, I can see the cartoon, and I can see the way he's like the Bluto type characters doing the little jaunt.
Yeah, dude.
See, I don't think about this. I don't think about this in terms of the cartoon. I mean, I watched the cartoon growing up, but
the old timey cartoons.
After you read the comics, it supersedes everything.
Yeah.
That'll teach you not to stick your nose in other people's business.
Yeah, we never even really find out what this guy's deal is. He must be super strong to go toe to toe with Malcolm.
Dude, well, here's the sequence. Yeah. Check it out. The cashier is Popeye, and he's not. This is why I say everyone knows Malcolm doesn't need a mask. Malcolm's in there without a mask. Popeye doesn't have a problem with it. Then Malcolm's outside with his bag. The cashier, Popeye, has knocked this Bluto dude through the wall. Oh, wait, no.
No, you got it wrong.
No,
this is
I got it
fight.
wrong. Brown pants. You're right.
Bluto knocked the wimpy guy through the wall.
There you go. Is he a friend of yours?
Also, John Day is there.
Yeah, which is great. John Day made an appearance.
Well, then, okay, you're right. I'm not
quite
sure.
This is just a fist fight a dragon walked into.
Right.
Although, no, it's nothing. Never mind.
I do love the gag. The overall gag of the strip is what's great. So, all right, this is why it's the best. Not only is this a great fist fight, and I wasn't expecting really fights in this issue, but I mean, goddamn, if you're gonna do it in Popeye, right? Not only was this a great fight, full of great drawings, but the gag is funny too, where he forgot the milk because of the fight.
Yeah.
I also like how he calls Maxine Olive Pit.
Yeah. What is it, Olive Pit?
Oh, and she calls him Pop Rocks.
And
Sockeye, yeah.
Where's the milk, sockeye?
So this is so.
How much Popeye did you watch as a kid, dude?
Too much, dude. Too much.
So the interesting thing about this page is this is not really I think a Sundays page. This is like a regular weekly page, or well, there's 4 of them instead of 5. Because when you read these, do you guys read them as like one big thing, or did you read this as like 3 panels one day, 3 panels next day? Because when I read this, I read it. Does this make sense as a single day? And I think that Erik really nails that pacing here as well, where you could read this one strip, and then read this strip, and then read this strip, and so on.
I read it as one big thing.
Okay.
But that's just me. 10 out of 10, dude.
Yes.
And to name it Rumble Theater is even that's genius. Because, Thimble Theater.
Yeah.
So, man, when the stars align in this issue, the stars align. Dude, even this next one, Doom Bunker?
This was my personal favorite.
It's good.
Because I felt like he nailed it, too. I mean, he nailed all of them.
Yeah.
But he super nailed this one.
He super nailed.
With,
God damn, he's got that Doonesbury.
And got the political stuff.
Making Johnson look like Doonesbury is so brilliant.
Yes.
And having him stick his head out the door the same way.
Yes, dude.
It's so perfect.
It's so good, dude. Oh, yeah. And again, just everybody in Dewberry does look tired and old. And William and Rita just looking like
the tiredest and oldest. Yeah. We do get a little bit of development here too. Apparently, Rita got caught up in that freakout cloud.
Yeah,
no longer giantess.
We get double development. Rita got depowered in Chicago's freakout blanket, but on top of that, Trump's alien ban got overturned.
Right, which also explains how Dragon's in Chicago.
Right. So, that's kind of a surprise.
Although it is...
That's a huge surprise.
Because basically that frees up characters to cross the border again.
Yeah.
Because that was the whole reason why a lot of the cast didn't want to be in America was the alien ban.
It's interesting that Johnson doesn't remember Paul. Because while Johnson was not Star, he was merged with Paul, if I remember correctly. And even though this... wait, hold on. Yeah, this is Johnson, right? What's his full name again? William Johnson.
William, yeah.
This particular William Johnson of the Savage world did not experience merging with Dragon in the Image universe. He should have those memories.
Oh, this one, yeah.
He never did that because that whole situation never happened.
Right.
But he should at least have the memories of that.
Right.
And that would make me think he would have the memories of William Johnson from the Paul universe as well. So it's interesting that he does not remember Paul.
Not to get too in the weeds with this line of thought, but do you think it is because... Oh, wait, no, William Johnson didn't die. What the hell?
No.
What am I thinking? No, never mind. I was going to say, because he was... Well, wait a minute. Didn't Original Image Universe... Hold on, this is what I was thinking. Original Image Universe got destroyed by a Universo.
Yes.
Okay, this is what I was thinking. So when the people merged... It wasn't like everything that ever existed happened. When the people merged, it had to be people merging for the memories to merge.
Interesting. I hadn't thought about that. I'm trying to think of what might contradict that.
So if William Johnson was dead, eaten by Universo, then it stands to reason that this William Johnson wouldn't have that memory.
He's only got his memories up until he was eaten.
So the universe... Right. So you would have had to have been alive at the time in the other universe before the merge?
That's what I'm wondering, if that's what's going on here. Because basically, the way I thought it...
No, I don't
know. No.
I don't think so.
Jennifer had Sue memories, and Sue was definitely dead.
Oh, and Dragon was dead, and Paul has Dragon memories.
Yeah, but they were alive at the same time when the merge happened.
Okay.
Dragon didn't blow up until after the merge.
Okay, you're right. 100%
But yeah,
correct.
the Sue thing does track with Sue being dead.
Okay.
It's not people merging as much
History
as
is
reality
merging.
It just seems a little strange, that your memories would merge even though you were dead.
Right.
And that kind of seems like why William doesn't. But what's funny too is like
because it's your reality, so he remembers everything before he died.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on here, guys. It's not even necessary. Oh, I don't even remember you. Never mind. What the fuck am I talking about?
Yeah, that's the weird part, is that he doesn't remember Paul at all when he has a direct counterpart.
Right.
So that's odd.
Right.
Well, maybe we'll find out. Maybe it seems weird and it's like some kind of plot thing we're not seeing.
Or maybe it was just so long ago and he literally does not remember. Because it could be a background memory thing. Maybe he remembered but then forgot.
Yeah, they did say there is actually a line of dialogue that says, I think Malcolm says, some of your memories just fade away.
Yeah.
Or the memories you didn't live just fade away.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there is actually a line of dialogue to acknowledge why that line of dialogue could actually explain why William doesn't remember him.
I also think when you're merging so many different realities, things just get mixed up.
Yeah, it's just a mess.
There could have been a whole bunch of realities that we don't even hear about.
And I'm sure it's also like, is my mind playing tricks on me? Did this actually happen? Or am I thinking it happened? Or it's got to be like crazy confusing.
Yeah. What's this IO back taxes? Is that a reference to something I should know? Am I sleeping on something? What's that a reference to? Plus, I owe back taxes.
I think that's a Doomsbury-ism.
Okay.
Just something to say political.
Right. Yeah, I kind of thought maybe that's what it was, but yeah. Life isn't a bed of roses. I owe back taxes is a good political punchline. It's because, like, she's giving the actual Savage Dragon kind of plot development, and then he's making a political joke. I owe back taxes. That's probably all it is. Okay.
So do you guys think that the Krillians kind of beamed him into, like, William's body?
I think that's how it happened. Unless it's not how it happened, but that's the way, during the interview with Erik, that's kind of how he implied it.
How you took it.
So he was beamed directly into Johnson, then later Fonte separated them. Which is said here.
Right.
I do want to say, just as a closer on this page, I think that the genius of this, and I'm not going to give away the end because the end is kind of like, whoa, but the genius of this is that the last panel feels like just a Doonesbury like kind of political joke, like there's stormtroopers and there's the president and everything else. But then tying in the whole Black Lives Matter police brutality thing is kind of genius foreshadowing for the end of the issue.
Yeah.
It's cool. I'm just saying I wasn't expecting that of this issue. For this issue is both, it's salutes to the funnies, yeah, but it also very much functions and flows like a normal Savage Dragon issue.
Absolutely.
Very impressed. Except for Box Snot, which is probably the weakest of the bunch.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, art-wise, it's perfect, but not much happens here, right?
Yeah, it's just the kids having a fun time. I guess Maxine's saying what again means Malcolm's Randy.
Well, that's what
I think so. Is he holding his wiener?
Maybe.
I will say that again, that I hadn't thought of that, Jim. It's funny you thought of that and I didn't.
Well, it's just that what is she talking to? What is she responding to? The only thing that makes sense.
You're right.
Is that he wants sex again?
Yeah. I will say that would be twice in this. So there's the Rex Melvin, and then that's actually another opportunity of Maxine sort of turning down like frisky business.
I don't know if she turned it down.
Or, well, you're right. They are in the bedroom in the next panel, so I suppose so.
I will say it's kind of cool to have a story with Tyrone as the main thread.
Uh-huh.
He doesn't usually get as much to do, I find. Amy seems to get the most, but Jack seems to get the second most.
With Maddie even coming up.
Oh yeah,
more.
even Maddie. Yeah, exactly.
Well, here's a cool thing, and I was joking because I'm just joking around on this Foxtrot is actually really like, of course it's funny, and it's actually spot on style wise. But it's kind of cool. Do you think, like Jack, being a pretty young kid, being smart enough to fix a video game controller?
You mean Tyrone?
We getting Tyrone, Jesus. You think Tyrone's we're getting a little foreshadowing on like his character?
He does
like,
machines.
Yeah. Is he maybe smarter, you know?
Oh, maybe.
Like
Yeah.
he becomes like the Donatello of these four teenage ninja dragons. I don't know. I'm just saying it'd be cool. It'd be cool if that was developed. It would be cool.
That's a cool point. I think
Also,
that's
all of his
interesting.
siblings have inherited their grandfather's assholeness.
Yes. But I was just, it's better. You know what? Talking to you guys, I actually like this better than I initially did.
But like,
I still feel like it's the
the
weakest.
Well, no, actually, the next one is my weakest one. Yeah,
Really?
I thought that was pretty
loved
funny,
it,
yeah. And well drawn.
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys, I'm not going to lie, Foxtrot's not my bag.
Foxtrot's weird because in the early or in the late '90s, early 2000s, it was like a super popular for kind of being kind of cutting edge.
Really?
Yeah, because it was a new comic strip with a focus on like modern day. So it had kind of almost how do I phrase this? It felt kind of young and hip compared to a lot of the other stuff that was its contemporaries.
Yikes.
I missed that entirely,
Really?
dude. Yeah, which I'm not a big strip Sunday funny dude.
And it got old
A
real fast.
lot of like early webcomic artists, Foxtrot was like a jumping off point for them.
Weird.
They all cite Foxtrot as like being a huge influence of going into webcomics.
Weird. I'm an early webcomic artist, dude, and I don't know that at all. Holy shit, dude, that's weird. Okay,
But going back to my old point about how like in newspapers they would like cut off the top line of a Sunday strip.
you're right.
That's why Foxtrot always did these big like banners
Yeah,
because they can be discarded without losing anything.
you're right. Yeah, that fits the format. Man, Jim, I'm glad you brought that up, dude. That brings an extra layer of appreciation for this whole thing that like I wouldn't have had.
Jim is like a fun Sunday Funnies scholar.
I wouldn't
dude.
say that. I just have an interest. I am
sure
pure
do.
casual.
No way, dude. No way. I've
Surface
seen your reading list.
surface level.
He's reading Gavin Levels amounts of comics these days. It's insane. Like he'll update his Twitter
God, no.
thing.
Gavin has read twice as many comics as I have in the last 6 months, and I've been out of work.
But you're a product of the American education system, so I forgive it. I'm saying it's not fair. It's not a fair comparison.
To Gavin, yes.
What is this a parody of?
Because
Running
this
Bear?
is a strip I have never seen before.
Me either, but I recognize the art style. I mean, I don't know what it is, but I recognize the art style. So it's clearly a well-known strip. It's
This is Tumbleweeds,
Tumbleweeds, huh?
which ran for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I recognize the
And
art.
If I was reading up on like the wiki, it says Jim Davis was the cartoonist, Ryan, whatever his name is, Tom Ryan, his assistant from 1969 to 78.
Holy shit, dude. Jim Davis was an assistant on this?
This guy had a 42-year run. 42-year run.
Goddamn legend. Wow. You're blowing my mind.
The art style is funny. It reminds me almost like which strip is the old married couple?
Oh,
Like, not the Foghorns.
Lockhorns.
Lockhorns. It kind of looks like that in certain aspects, like or Andy Capp with like Mighty Man's
Mighty
face.
Man's like real Don Simpson to his face to me.
Yeah.
He's got Mighty Man's got some handicap going on. I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really like the style.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's pretty cool looking. Barbaric looks freaking cool.
Oh, dude, he's hilarious looking.
All the Freak Force guys are kind of neat.
I'm really glad we got to see him. I honestly wasn't expecting to see the reservation in this issue.
Well, and the thing too is Tumbleweeds was about like a Native American. It was about the American frontier, so it's like cowboys and Indians and stuff. So it kind of makes sense.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that makes it like a lot more sense. I think that the humor's good too on this. It's funny.
Yeah, I like it. It's like sharp.
Yeah, he's sort of like, it's kind of like you almost think he's like being risque, and he's like, nah, I'm just fucking with you. It's a noise, dude. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it reminds me almost like the same type of character. Have you guys read Kirkman's new Firepower?
I have not read it yet.
Comic?
No,
not yet.
He plays that same. Well, it's that kind of cliche role of like the old mentor who's kind of hip.
Okay, Mr. Miyagi style.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what this kind of chief here kind of plays, which I like. I like those kind of characters.
And it's funny because you're talking about plot progression. Like, this is not just a throwaway gag. I mean, technically, we could have met, like, Chief Renfeather could be a character going forward. Like, there's no reason to believe he wouldn't be. So isn't it kind of funny that this could be this character's first appearance and this is how he looks?
right.
Yeah. Because they are based on the reservation.
Right.
I just do think, I think it's funny how he's, like, kind of getting on Barbaric to like living up the stereotypes, and he's like, Barbaric sounds like Savage. He's like, your skin is red, and he's like, babe, what can I do about my skin? He's like, just messing with you.
It's just a noise, dude. Don't worry about it. It's good. Yeah, I like this. I didn't know what it was based on, but I do like it. And I was happy to see Freak Force too.
Super Patriot.
Maybe, and this is the thing we haven't talked about much, but maybe he was just a little too far style-wise to work. I don't know this comic, so I don't know the style, but I'm just saying, dude, there's not many Sunday Funnies, like, art styles that could sell, like, a cybernetic, like gun arm dude, you know what I mean?
I love Ricochet.
Yeah, that's so good.
I still can't. I think Barbaric was one of the coolest looking characters in this issue.
Yeah. He's got a really hilarious, like, really sells it. Then we got the style that we knew he would really kill. We knew he would slay it.
Yeah.
He's got this one. It's as dialed in as Jack Kirby, dude. Perfect. I loved it. I knew he was going to do a good job with this, of course.
I was a little bummed in a way. Like, I'm glad he did it, but I thought, he already kind of did an issue like this. It would have been nice for room for like another style.
But this
is
is more like, because the Savage Little Dragon stuff, I don't think he really went in for the Watterson style as much. He just kind of went with the Watterson layout.
Right.
This is way more in style.
Yeah.
I love
Absolutely.
Walter because he's just slightly off-brand Hobbs, but just on that cusp where he's his own unique character. And I especially love the final, like when Maxine walks into the room and we see what he really looks like.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah, dude, the Tiger Man. And what's
Jim and I were discussing this a few days back, and it's like a reverse Hobbs, where she sees like the silly make-believe version, and really he's like this fucking scary thing. Whereas in Calvin and Hobbes, it's the reverse, like he sees him as almost a real object, and he's just a stuffy.
Oh, it's funny. Well, do you think Walter can talk?
He is a beast man. You can see he's got human hands.
Right. And human legs, like, for sure.
Actually, it'd be cool if he couldn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Buffalo Stew could talk. So technically we know Beastmen can. I don't think every Beastman has talked. But Buffalo Stew could talk all the time. So technically we didn't see it here. But like if Walter shows up again, he could totally talk, dude.
It would be awesome too if Walter does become a regular character.
Would be great.
It's almost like like CC Beck's tiger guy.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like, oh, Savage Dragon has
It
a
would
tiger
be great
man character.
if it retained the dual like perception thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because the thing about Hobbs isn't that he's a toy that comes to life. It's all about perspective. Calvin sees Hobbs as this, and everyone else sees Hobbs as this.
Wait. Whoa.
Right.
Hobbs is not real?
He's
I'm
a-
just kidding, dude.
Stuff. No, shut up.
I'm just kidding.
But a lot of people make the mistake of Hobbs is imaginary or Hobbs
Yeah.
is a toy that comes to life. That's not what Hobbs is about. Hobbs is about how you perceive him.
Yeah, his imagination. It's a
Well,
child's
he's not-
imagination.
He's not even imagination. See, this is in the 10th anniversary book. It's spelled out.
Oh.
Hobbs is not a figment of Calvin's imagination. He's not an imaginary friend. Calvin sees Hobbs as this character. It is,
Oh,
it is
sure, yeah,
real
dude.
to Calvin.
Oh, weird. Imaginary friend makes way more sense. Okay. Yeah, all right, Bill Watterson, you're the boss. I wasn't expecting this FINcast to ruin Calvin and Hobbes, but that's quite a turn. I'm joking.
The truth is always told in
But one thing about this is it's kind of interesting. It seems like Maddie knows. Wait, no, is this Amy? No, it is Amy.
This
seems
is
like
Amy,
it seems like Amy knows Walter.
They've maybe
Yeah.
talked before.
Like they've
is what's
talked
funny.
before. Also,
Yeah, like I think it's established that they're
Yeah, they're friends. Yeah.
like and that's interesting. Just because we never saw that. Like, when would they have met?
Well, I think it's the same thing. Like obviously, like Maxine doesn't know about
Right.
it, so it's all off panel.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have met anytime. I mean, think about when they just had. We saw the one adventure they had in the junkyard, and there was like that dog, that humanoid dog guy.
You know what?
Right.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
mean-
I guess they did have that whole adventure away from the family.
Well,
They go and play in the scrapyard because there's the only place they can go without like destroying buildings.
Oh, and of
And
course,
also-
there's a whole running gag here about basically Amy is trying to turn him into Talkie Tawny,
right.
and he's having none of it.
I like that he is worried that the other animal men will shame him. But talking about the Amy knowing him thing, that's also the strip is playing off of your knowledge of Calvin and Hobbes.
Right.
Like the whole time you're seeing Walter and Amy interacting, you're thinking imaginary friend, and then of course the punchline is, he's not imaginary at all. Like they do know each other, and they have seen each other before. And so it's kind of like you learn with the readers, like you learn with Maxine, the readers learn with Maxine that this is not just some imaginary friend. This is a real tiger. So
I will
Yeah.
say, why are you always up in my grill is kind of an odd thing for her to say.
Little kids always say weird.
She must have heard it on TV.
Yeah.
yeah. And didn't Calvin love TV?
Kinda.
And again, Maxine with no pants on.
Yeah, no pants Maxine, dude. It is so hilarious. Walter's dialogue about a tawdry wench from that viral video.
Yeah.
That is so funny, dude.
Are you looking to get killed?
You trying to get me killed? You looking to get killed? So good, dude. He nailed it. He nailed the dialogue on this. Like, of course he nailed the art. But, dude, this could have been written by Watterson. This is perfect.
I wonder if he's seen it.
I don't know. He should, damn it. It's worth bringing up. This is the perfect place to bring it up, maybe the only place. There's that theory that, like, maybe he did see Calvin and Hobbes. Maybe Watterson did see Savage Dragon.
Yeah.
Because after the, like...
Oh, right. Yeah. That one Sunday strip.
Yeah, Calvin's reading the violent. She's like, turn that TV off and do some reading. And he reads the comic, and the hero guy gets a big hole blown.
There's
in
a bunch of very overt references that could be like early Savage Dragon issues.
Yeah.
Well, the guy has a giant fin
There's
on
that
his
too,
head, too.
and it came out like the strip came out in like 94, and of course
Right.
Savage Dragon came out in 92. So the timeline adds up.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest selling
Yeah.
comics.
Million seller. And on top of that, that was It's so easy to forget, but Savage Dragon was one of the, like, beginning ultra-violent comics. Like, now ultra-violence is everywhere in North America, but, like, man, Savage Dragon was one of the first that was just like, holy shit, dude. He's on a spike, he's in a pool of blood, like, that shit was mind-blowing at the time. So, yeah. He's got to have read it. I don't know if he reads it now, but, dude, he's got to have read it in the past.
And so we come to Dick Tasty.
This is a little heavy-handed.
You say heavy-handed, I say not heavy-handed enough.
I think he nailed it. I'm going to say, I'll give you the full range and say he struck the right balance.
I believe that Frank Jr. would kneel.
Yeah, of course.
But I think it's... I
do too.
I don't know. I think it's a little easy to say Frank is one of the quote-unquote good ones.
Why?
Just because...
I mean, obviously he's a good cop. He's a good character.
I don't know. It's just... In the current climate, I mean, are there good cops?
I mean, here's the thing,
yes.
dude. Yes, there are. You have to say that there are. However, it's just a complicated situation that good cops are part of a corrupt system. And so, yes, they are implicit when they comply with corrupt things, you know? But at the same time, like, Frank's probably in his... Okay, not to get too personal, but I actually literally know a cop who is a black cop, and he had to, in the real world, and he had to deal with, like, protesters yelling in his face and stuff, being like, what are you doing? You know, you traitor, you know, you're turning your back on everyone. Like, oh, what are you even doing? And it really fucked with him. I'm saying he really had a huge moral struggle. It was really hard for him to deal with that. At the end of the day, he thought he is just doing more good as a cop than he could if he just quit. You know what I'm saying? So, it's complex. This is what's... Here's the thing. All right. What's nice about this is not only is this one of the most shocking, like, plot progressions in the whole issue, but to be honest, I just wasn't expecting this issue to have any, like, hot anything. You know what I mean? I thought this was just going to be a woohoo fun time.
Slide whistle.
Yeah. But, like, goddamn, this one brought it way the fuck down to real life, dude. And Murderous Dick Tracy is quite the character, if I do say so myself. And also Frank's fucking life is in question here. Like, who the fuck knows, right?
I mean,
did he get brain dead? Like, getting a fucking gun to the back of your head till you're bleeding out of your head is pretty serious, dude. So, and Frank's...
Yeah. Also, does it mean if he comes out of this unscathed, does that mean he quits the force?
Right. Will he be free to go to Canada? Or will, I mean, honest to goodness, like, ripped from the headlines, like the old man that was bleeding out of his head, he's wheelchair bound. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
So
my
I'm
big
just
worry
saying-
is that he's alive, but he's, like, got brain damage.
Yes, dude. Yeah. And so then that puts Malcolm in a my blood freak out situation, but they don't have that anymore, do they?
No.
There's no easy out for this unless they can get him help in time, so who knows. But
I like the little handheld recording device.
Well, that
caption.
was a common thing because I believe you would see that pointed at as risk communicator all the time.
Yeah, like little contraptions and stuff.
yeah, Dick Tracy had the two-way wristwatch, which was hilariously futuristic at the time, and now is like we got FaceTime watches.
I think
was futuristic for decades.
Yeah.
I think how am I going to phrase this? This is the weakest in terms of homages. Dick Tracy and the other cop next to him look pretty good, but everybody else just kind of looks like Larsen. I don't know if that's just a challenge of they just having very similar styles ultimately. But
I'm gonna say that maybe it's not even similar styles as we talked about it in the interview. It's possible. I just don't know Dick Tracy, but it's possible that artist didn't provide a lot of samples of, like, you know, African American characters.
very likely.
And so when you're confronted with that situation, what do you do? Because it's not going to look on model really at that point. And there's actually twice in this issue. I don't think Maxine is very off model in the Rex in the dentist story.
That's
I forgot
true.
it already.
Yeah.
I think Maxine is also very Erik Larsen in that.
But
But I
she
feel
also
like-
looks a lot more quote unquote realistic, which is the style of Rex Morgan. She doesn't do any of the cartoon faces she's known for. She's this is like what she would look like if she was in her like realistic form all the time.
Do you think, and we're only supposing, but do you think, given the like sort of serious tone here, that maybe he thought it'd be in bad taste?
Maybe.
Because he doesn't have the line weight, I feel like.
Yeah, they're drawn completely different. Like, look at the profile of like the Dick Tracy character, and then like look at everyone
Like,
else.
Yeah. I just feel like, yeah.
When he said he
you're
was
right.
doing Dick Tracy, I just kind of assumed he was going to do that whole weird-headed, weird-faced looking guys because
That's Dick Tracy,
freak
right?
freak faces. Yeah, that was the thing. Is you'd have guys with like water faucets for noses and guns for eyes.
Flat top and shit like
Yeah.
that.
Flat top. Yeah, everyone knows him.
You guys ever see that movie? The Disney movie?
Warren Beatty.
Yeah, when I was young, that movie was like the biggest thing when
Fuck
that
yeah,
came
dude.
out. Like they were
That-
trading
I was-
cards.
I
It was like
watched-
so
I
much
watched
excitement.
that back at the beginning of COVID here. That is a really bad
The-
movie, but it is a perfect
Yeah.
movie.
It's really well shot.
I haven't seen it since I
It
first
is
saw it, so
a
I don't know.
cartoon come to life. That
Yeah, the
doesn't make
colors.
it a
Yeah.
good movie.
They did the colors, the primary type colors on
Yeah,
purpose.
The use of color in that is
I
incredible.
would compare it to the Popeye movie in the similar vein where it's not a good movie.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of like the style of a lot of like those comic strip movies too, where there was like so like 80s and 90s. It was like, we're gonna try to make this look like a comic strip come to life, and we got to make the colors look like
Yeah.
this. And
It was a weird time when they were doing stuff like the Shadow and the Phantom and
Yeah.
Dick Tracy
Yeah.
and
It's really weird because, like, I know we were just talking. It was so funny. I was just talking. It's weird. There's weird serendipity to everything. Like, my roommate just watched Dick Tracy, and
Oh, yeah.
like he was talking about like the colors and everything. And I was talking to him about it. I said I feel like before CGI, like when they had to lean into like performances and sets and costumes a whole lot more to sell
Yeah.
a film, it was kind of like closer to theater than it is now.
yeah,
And so you could see almost like the mindset where it's like, oh, this is a comic, well, big flat primary colors and, shit like that. So it's kind of
but I also feel like some of that stuff holds on, but like it stands the test of time better than like in terms of sets and stuff like that versus CGI.
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, that's the thing is, like Jim just said, he watched it and it was a bad movie, but it looked good.
Yeah.
it was bloated, too long. Some plot lines were goofy.
Madonna starred in it.
That human rubber mask she wears.
Yeah, dude. She was Breathless Mahoney, but who was the character? Blank Face or
Yes, blank face. She was blank face.
or whoever. You know what I mean? I don't know, dude. It's this strip here to me worked.
Yes.
I was very shocked. I wasn't expecting this. I wasn't prepared for it at all.
Didn't he also say his kid came up with the name?
Dick Tasty?
I think so. I think it was
I
this
don't know.
one.
I don't remember that.
That is about as good as you could do as a parody. I mean, what else would you do, right?
Unless it was Box Snot. Those are both good
Box-
names.
Yeah. I also think the little Crime Swappers textbook.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, he really. What's funny is he leans into that crooked cop thing and this whole thing.
And that Crime Swapper text box is straight out of Dick Tracy. He would do those. You would get those in the Sunday spreads all the time. Again, another one of those easily discarded chunks.
I bet you, I'm just guessing, but I bet you this pisses off so many people.
Oh, sure.
I can. This sometimes Eric does something and it's gonna fucking flip people the fuck out. I bet this makes people so goddamn.
Oh, it's gonna. Who is gonna flip out?
Yeah,
Like,
dude, of course. But here's the thing: is it's more even-handed than you think because Frank is a good cop, clearly. Like, so it's not saying, like, this strip even acknowledges, like, you know, there's good cops, but, like, yeah, you got fucking crooked cops, you know?
Ingenious to give the Dick Tracy character, like, the balding
Yeah.
hair, just to separate.
Also to make him a fascist.
Yeah. Yeah. There's never a superhero around when you need one, is there? So evil, dude. He's such a prick. Yikes.
And then we get a Blondie strip for the final page.
And Maxine turning down a chance to be saucy one more time. I'm telling you, dude.
You're trying to make this into a thing. It's not a thing.
It is a
Raven.
thing. It totally is a thing, dude. It totally is a thing. I'm just saying. Because Malcolm goes up and has a sexy time with strippers as a stripper, and he comes downstairs and she's like, "Go to sleep."
That is true, though. It is weird of Maxine because she would be the one to be jumping in the middle of it, and she's not. That's out of character. That is true.
Just saying. I mean,
like, since when would she turn that down?
interpret it how you will, my dudes. You never know. Quarantine could be doing it. Who knows?
And again, Malcolm looks like a great Dagwood stand-in, facial-wise.
Right.
Not so much body type, but what you gonna do? But Maxine doesn't
tough.
seem as Blondie-esque. In fact, there's a Blondie at the party. Yeah.
Door. Yeah, that's difficult to make an Asian woman look like Blondie. You know, like to different styles. Like, it wouldn't look right.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm gonna share that Garfield strip when this issue comes out, and you're gonna see, like, what's the Jim Davis Asian character? There is none. It's
Right.
see what I mean? So it's just like sometimes your style is just like thwarting you, like you're copying this dude that just didn't do those things. You know what I mean?
So you got to try to find a body and hair and just do your own face or something.
Yeah.
Maybe match lips or something.
Like in that very first panel and that second panel, his lips are like very blondie. But then it's like, you know, he's got to draw her angry, and I think he did as good as he could, you know.
Also,
yeah.
All right, I'm gonna get personal for a second.
Uh-oh.
So,
here we go.
How do I even phrase this?
Uh-oh.
Blondie female characters are incredibly busty, and I don't think these characters are as busty as Blondie characters can be.
You know what? You're not wrong. They are drawn with the hourglass. It is kind of the cliche Blondie hourglass figure. Yeah. Good, Jim. I'm glad you made that point and not me. Everyone would expect it from me.
Also,
now I know little Jimmy rubs it out.
Well, I'm not going to say I never did.
Sinful Sunday.
Any port in a storm, or whatever they say.
Classic, dude. It's perfect. I think Angry Malcolm is a great panel, both in the bam 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 and the yelling at the upstairs. Like, those are just really solid.
I like the panel always getting tugged on by the ear. Just as the body motion.
Now I'm awake and engorged. Engorged?
Go to sleep, pork.
Yuck. What are you talking about, Malcolm? What orifice on you is engorged?
His penis.
State Fair zucchini.
So good, dude. It's funny. I love it. This was good for me. Yeah, I think this was good too. My weakest link was Box Snot, but it was still good. Especially after we talked it over, I liked it more.
My least favorite probably was the same. Yeah. I hate Kathy's style, but it was a good.
I'm going to stick with Running Bear as my least favorite. I think it has some good artistry. I just don't think it's very good.
Yeah. Really? I can't believe that. That's like one of my favorites. It's crazy. I love it.
I definitely would like more. Wouldn't it be great if, like, he dedicated 2 pages to Funnies every issue?
I mean, look.
Or we got some rejects that were used.
I'd love some rejects, Craig. Dude, I would fucking because he went. Well, he said in the interview that he went through a ton, and I would love some rejects just to see some of the
just to maybe see some of those sketches. Maybe that would be great, like sketchbook backup filler.
Yes, dude. Yeah,
dude. I thought for sure we were gonna get a Thor Hagar based on 250s ish.
Maybe
that would have worked. That would have worked. That would have really worked.
Or Hagar, however you say it.
Close enough.
Sammy Hagar the Horrible, yes.
I knew that's what you were doing, dude. Oh, it's good. I would welcome another one of these. As hard as it was for him, I bet he's done forever.
Yeah.
But I would welcome another one of these in a heartbeat. And I think there's other stuff he could do too. But yeah, holy shit balls, mommy. What a
great issue.
Yeah, what a great treat. And I will say that I love, oh boy, so funny. But, we fight this fight on Savage Dragon as Savage Dragon fans. The whole is Savage Dragon porn now fight all the time. Constantly it comes up. And I love that I scroll down the comics. I just like to hurt myself, Johnny Cash style, to see if I feel the pain. I scroll down the comics on the fucking... preview on CBR or one of those websites or whatever, and somebody was like, this was their reaction to seeing the preview pages of this. They said, wow. They said, this looks incredible. They said, I had heard Savage Dragon was porn a few years back, but I guess he's moved away from that. Now, whatever you feel, one way or the other, it's not important to this moment. What I'm saying is what's cool is that this is a experiment he did that where it was art styles, it immediately deterred that. It immediately shut people down, like, hey guys, look, there's a lot going on. Like Savage Dragon is kind of a weird fun book. So I don't know. I'm just saying bravo this fucking experiment. I think it's gonna turn heads. I think it's gonna really kind of fuck with the notions that a lot of people have, the misconceptions a lot of people have about Savage Dragon. I think this is going to be a really strong issue to just help the book. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that and advances the story. It's still fun. He poured his heart into it, and it shows.
Yeah.
It had to be so difficult.
Oh Lord, dude. Again, imagine you're drawing a page. Normally, you can knock out 1.5 a day. I think he said he can do 2 a day if he has to, or something, 2.5 or something crazy. But if you're doing this, you got to reference every panel.
And you've got to be funny in a tone that matches the strip.
Right. Yeah. Matching art styles, funny, matching writing style, oof. Very impressive.
I'll be interested to see what kind of reviews it gets.
Oh yeah. Cannot wait, dude. Jim, you got any lingering thoughts? You've been silent for a second.
No, I got nothing else. I'm spent.
Huh? Well, we still got a little bit to chew on because our friend.
I got one stupid thought.
Oh, lay it on us.
I
love stupid thoughts.
I think the Maxine strip should have been called Maxie.
Oh, you know what I was gonna? I'm so glad you said that. All right, so check it out. I don't love piglets as a name.
No, okay.
What would you guys have called it?
Ooh.
I was thinking wee nuts.
What?
Because they're wee nuts. They're nutty. Little.
Oh. Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't think there's any real good.
Yeah.
That was literally the only one. The rest are genius. Doom Bunker, Rumble Theater. What is Box Snot a reference or an allusion to?
I don't think.
Yeah, nothing really. I think kids are snotty, maybe. I think that was just one of the ones he tried to struggle with and just threw a sounded like up. I almost want to say it would sound better if it was called Snotbox.
That works for me.
It's got to rhyme with.
Yeah, it doesn't have to rhyme. It just has to invoke. I mean, piglets doesn't rhyme with peanuts. I mean, hell, angel doesn't even rhyme. It isn't Honestly, Angel's kind of clunky as a Kathy replacement.
But
Well,
it's just the
yeah.
name. Yeah, it catches the spirit, like you said. Dick Tasty is good. That's
Dick
funny
Tasty's
as
real
shit.
good.
Running Bear's nothing like
Correct.
Tumbleweeds.
Next, Vicious Circle Rising. I just love the little text under the... just doesn't really, fit, you know?
It's all old school looking.
Tune in next time for Vicious Circle Rising.
So
And now an ad for wheat cakes.
Don't forget to buy war bonds and support the troops.
Don't forget your Ovaltine. War bonds.
Yeah, you're right. Hey, killed.
The new series of Phonograph.
Did you know cutting back on chewing gum can help our boys across the sea? We use the rubber in our planes and engines.
all right,
Use Tootsie Roll as a meal replacement. It brings you energy
Ask your doctor.
to finish out your day.
all right. We should probably talk about E3 real quick and wrap this up.
Right. Save us from ourselves, dude. We can't quit this old-timey newscast.
It's too fun. It's too fun.
This is Pyrite Gorge in Arizona, and again, Frank getting to shine with these building shots and architecture and background. Just really fun stuff, dudes. Look at the Starship Enterprise wind chime in the nerd layer.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's like a
It's not a wind chime. What am I saying? It's like a mobile.
mobile.
Yeah,
mobile. There you go.
Yep. Yep. Very good. Good words, Craig. Good words.
Yeah, those fancy
We're gonna have a
words.
thesaurus here in a minute when we have puissance.
But anyway, we pick up where the last issue ended, and Zakora has landed on Earth at this
Yeah, man.
this deep space radio telescope lab. Just starts murdering people.
The fourth lint is mine at last. It's just how I hear him. I can't help it.
He's a Cobra Commander Starscream to you.
Yeah. All of Idria will bow. This is good, dude. I love this panel of him. Just the energy, just raining off of him as they're
Kirby Crackle.
yeah, they're from the floor, looking up, terrified. And he just zaps the fucking dude. You know, the guy just talks and he's just,
Well, he thinks he's still on his own
Right.
planet because he's addressing these guys as if they're the guys he was just fighting.
You're not Thiessen.
Watch this. For Zach. We get the Chris Eliopoulos lettering too, left from back in the day, which you'll see in a lot of the sound effects. Kind of
very nice, dude.
evokes some good memories.
We had a little body horror as he turns this satellite station, which is incredibly logical. What's so funny is what bad luck for them. He turns this into a conduit to channel energy from the powerhouse to him now.
So he's making a new
Yeah.
powerhouse.
And it's he's siphoning the juice off of his of the old powerhouse, and the scene of the one dude getting sort of molded into the technology, kind of horrific.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Kind of cool. I'm holy shit, dude.
Then the local sheriff has a run in, and he
What an
gets
oaf.
murked.
What's this? Some annoying insects, perhaps? Ah, caught one.
Bullets.
Not an insect at all. Some sort of projectile.
And I love this dunce on the ground. Great bullets bounce off him. All I did is attract his attention. Better get out of here. Look, what a dope. You're done for, dude. This guy's fucking...
Isn't he talking about the young bloods?
Yeah, go get the young bloods. It's oh my goodness, dude.
all of them.
Or maybe just better send an ambulance or a hearse. It's he's got a sense of humor at least. And then he
Yeah.
fucking dies. He just
Oh my God, Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners.
He's done. He's done for, dude.
Boom! That's a great shot. I like that.
Well, also good in the very first panel of that same page, where like he's up in the top in the up left corner, and then his shadow's just down on the ground. Oh, it's good, dude.
Yeah.
Like I said, Frank just really fucking killing it with this.
I just noticed that. That is good.
Yeah, really, really good.
I do enjoy. You can see like you can feel like that Jeep just spinning out. You know what I mean? Just doing like just whipping around.
Trying to haul balls that way.
The Jeep looks great.
Yeah, man. He just should have did a hit or something, dude. Dope. Meanwhile, back at the powerhouse of the planet Ethra.
Etherean, the sulky
He
superhero.
sulks the best of them.
Look at him in the dark soul.
You know what's... Okay, so I misread this. Okay, so you see how you see him in the first panel in the background of the darkness sulking?
Right.
I didn't really notice him there initially, so I only saw him here at the bottom of the page. So it looks like he's like crouched under a desk, sulking in a cubby.
He's really taking it hard.
Screw you guys.
Who destroyed it all?
It's funny when you say that now. It does look like he's under some like fancy desk.
I think that's a really good drawing in the middle panel of Amalak. Just the way Frank like had the cross hatching define the edge of his face.
Yeah.
Very good stuff, dude.
I like even the top panel with the Gone character kind of like working the computer and stuff like that. Just good stuff.
Yeah, man.
I think the colors are awesome. Like the blue, like the top panel, like the blue thing crackling, and then like the reds in the background coming from something out in the back there. There's like a lot of weird like tech and weird shapes, like circular shapes behind the staff, but just kind of real eye catching and neat. I enjoy it.
Yeah, very well done.
And we're kind of learning a little bit more about the roles of these different guys. So, you know, this Krell guy that's got his little staff.
Kind of weird that they go off.
He's
Go
kind of
off
a
so
weakling.
half cocked with a really rookie staff guy.
It like clearly Etherian has no respect for him.
No.
Yeah, he's a dick to him.
He's like, you're not even going to be worth anything. He's like, well, without him, you might not get home. And he's like, oh shit.
Bah, I need no help. This is a job for one who wields the power, not one who tends it.
Let's go, little keeper. So insulting, dude. So yeah, we just Etherian's a dick, but he heads through the portal to try and track our boy down. And
I love the panel where like the guys, like you got that Lord Amalak guy in the front with the cool like Kirby tech thingy in front of him with the weird angles, and then you've got all like the shadowy guys, but you can still see their costumes and stuff. It's just that's cool.
Frank's
I love
very good at that.
Like, very Miller-esque type stuff.
Very, we see a lot of that in the TMNT. Good use of silhouette.
Yep.
Excellent. And it's really cool on the tech, too. Because it's like he's not really laboring to draw a bunch of technology. It's just like black shadows, but it just really creates like that looks like a complex piece of equipment.
And again, where like colors can really change something from what it would look like in black and white, where, you know, in the middle of that middle panel where it's all kind of washed out blue, it just gives you a sense of kind of just explosion or just super bright, you know, lights.
Gotta get them lenses, dog. Gotta get them lenses.
It's good stuff. We got a good cover from this
Yep.
that we didn't get with Ethereal Warriors.
Yeah, I think this is new.
You know.
This is probably new.
I'm not sure. You know, I think it might have been something in Megaton that was recolored, but I'm not sure.
Right.
It's a good one anyway. You got E3 just blasting on down from the powerhouse with all his little like comrades there on the side. It's cool, man. This is a backup that's delivering.
Yeah.
For sure.
And that brings us to the end of our adventure.
Ah, It was a fun one, though, guys. I gotta say, I loved it. The 251, 252 Puissance was quite nice.
Yeah, these are great issues. Great backups. Fun experiments. Return of Paul Dragon. Good time to be a Dragon fan.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. No better. Like, hot off the heels of 250. It's so funny, like, 250, like, he went all out, and, like, I think, kind of like with, like, any other comic, like, they'd, like, maybe coast a little, you know? There'd be, nope. We got, like, just Paul coming back and fighting, and then we got this experiment issue. Just, goddamn, this is a book that never slows down, dude. Every issue a 10.
Amen, brother.
Shall we gaze to the future?
I think we shall.
Savage Dragon 253. The Vicious Circle Reborn. The notorious criminal organization known as the Vicious Circle has left Chicago and found a new home in Toronto, Ontario. And their only obstacle is Malcolm Dragon, son of the Savage Dragon. But Malcolm Dragon was already in over his head before their arrival. How can he possibly hope to survive? Comes with our highest possible recommendation.
And that ought to be hitting in October.
Yep.
That's going to be one happy Halloween, my dudes.
Spooky.
I love it, dude. Well, thank you, Jim. Thank you, Craig. As always, it's an absolute pleasure to talk Savage Dragon with you, my dudes.
Yeah, man. What do we got next for some of our like retros for listeners?
We got more Savage Dragon and more Freak Force coming up. That's the primary goal for the next little while.
And
we've got to do some Ninja Turtles.
Yep,
right?
Yep.
We're going to be doing heavy on that.
Hopefully very soon we'll be wrapping up the Ninja Turtles Urban Legends run. The final 3 issues. We're going to cover those in a single episode. Probably within the month, maybe next month. We'll get there soon.
Yep.
Again, just another thing of like what a time to be a Dragon fan. We're getting closure on a series that's been long tied with Savage Dragon.
Yep.
Written by Carlson and drawn by Fosco. Savage Dragon kind of...
collaborators.
Yeah, like just classic, you know. So it's a long time coming. So it's going to be fun to finally get some closure on that and do a podcast on that. I can't wait.
Yeah, man, you put your finger right on it. What a time, man! This is a great time to be a Savage Dragon fan. Holy shit!
So thanks for listening, everyone. And of course, you can always send us an email to savagefincast@gmail.com. Find us at savagefincast.com. And on our YouTube channel, just search for Savage FINcast on YouTube. Thanks for listening.
Everybody.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Catch you next time.